People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.
Hello and good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm Abs of October Red, and we are back. It's Saturday Night Live. I'm in the hot seat and I'm hosting a watch along. No footage of Wood Warrington 2. What a end to the week of boxing. It's been very exciting. I went live last night. So many of you showed up. The comments were interesting. The comments continued to come in today on the live video. Usually when we do our lives, the comments are in the chat and that's it. I don't hear anything else. But I woke up this morning and through the night, the comments were still coming in on yesterday's video. Obviously, the hot topic at the moment is Conor Benn leaving Matchroom to sign and go with Zuffa Boxing. At the time, we just saw the press release. I called it like the Dear John letter. And then I was saying, look, we've got to wait. We've got to hear what Eddie's got to say. People were saying, oh, you know, I've seen all the conspiracy theories online. We do love a conspiracy theory, don't we? It was like, oh yeah, I don't think it's real. I think they're playing games with us. I think he's going to go back to Eddie. And then we saw, obviously, last night, Eddie Hearn did an interview late with IFL TV. So shout out to Kugan Cassius. I did say Kugan's got to get that interview in. It's going to be very important. And according to Eddie, he found out a couple of days ago. So I'm presuming it was at the same launch when they advertised that they'd signed the extension with DAZN, that he found out around the same time as that through a lawyer, through an email, through a lawyer. No phone call, no, let's have a meeting, let's sit down. I need to talk to you about something. A letter received to Matchroom, to Eddie Hearn, Frank Smith, from Conor Benn to say bye. Yeah, that was a bit shocking because I was trying to think, oh yeah, you know, it potentially all amicable. They're just waiting for the press release. Didn't look amicable. From what Eddie Hearn has said, from what Frank Smith has said, it seems as if it's come out of the blue. They weren't made aware of it. And it seems a lot of sneaky behind the back stuff's been going on. There is his side, her side, and the truth. It'd be interesting to hear what Conor Benn says, if anything. But I'm not sure many Zuffa fighters do interviews nowadays. So will Conor Benn be that accessible for us to get to? There are still loads of questions to answer. Will he be still trained with Tony Sims? Is he going to train out of the UK? I think I've read somewhere online that there's going to be a potential fight. I think it's May with Conor on it in the UK, but I could be seeing things. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, what a mess. What a mess. I put up a few, like I said, bits and pieces on my socials, and there's been a few people that have come back and had some reasonable debate. Some of them are saying, so what? You know, how has Eddie treated people in the past? It's karma. Some people are saying it's downright out of order. Conor's an exception. If it was any other fighter, it wouldn't really matter. But how he stood up for Conor, this is out of order, etc., etc. So, yeah, loads of that stuff. I'll see if there's any more fallout on Twitter as we go through the evening. But a warm welcome to all of you. It is live watch along. Like I said, no footage for Wood Warrington 2, and I'm Abs of October Red. Please get involved in the chat. I do like the interaction from you guys. Number one, it keeps me perky. And number two, it's good to hear from the fans like myself. So it feels like, I don't know, we're in a pub somewhere, a virtual pub, and we're having a chat about boxing. Sometimes I do the commentary, and sometimes it is conversation. I will flip between the two. You will have to get used to me. And for those that are asking, is there going to be footage playing in the background? No, there won't. You're just going to have to listen to me rambling on for a couple of hours. Right, Andrew McDowell, evening to you as well. We've got beautiful Golden Dragon Red, let's have a look. Countdown, lift off, number one. Okay, there's lots of stuff there. Penalty, everything red, I guess. Stranger, 16 moped. Wow, I ain't seen you for like 800 years. Is Sandy Ryan now a free agent? It's a good question. Very good question. I'm going to sum up what's happening with these fights this evening as well. James Douglas comes in. I've just saw Ade's video. He's mentioned that something else that will surprise us in the next few days. Whatever. Pointless saying that if you're not going to say what it is. It's boxing. There's always going to be something going on in the next few days. Like I said, it's either one or it's the other. We'll see how it plays out. It's boxing. One thing that we've got to say is that nothing ever surprises us, and a rule that I've always gone by is trust no one anyway. So legend, absolutely, we're all legends in our own right. So we've had obviously Dave Allen's coming on now. I'm not expecting this, no disrespect intended, I'm not expecting this fight to light up the evening. So I just want to go through the fights that we've had so far, and I guess we can work back. We've just had Ryan versus Zamora for the WBC title. Don't ask me about the weight. These girls go up and down weight too much. That was a tough fight for Sandy. Very competitive. Obviously, she got the win. I wasn't scoring it because, you know, my scorecards are always a bit mental. Zamora came to win. No real technical skill as such, but just relentless. Kept on coming forward, swinging and catching Sandy on more than one occasion. If I'm going to be honest, and I've been honest with Sandy, so there's nothing about this that's two-faced. I'm not sure if she's suited to the coaches that she's got. I thought she was better performing under Clifton Mitchell, who she was with initially. Don't know what's gone on there. Obviously, she's left. And I'm, like I said, with these guys, I don't know. I don't know with those guys. It's like, yeah, I haven't seen any like improvements to say, yes, it was definitely worth her moving trainers, but absolute massive congratulations to Sandy Ryan. One of the fighters that I've got a lot of time for. I always call her daughter. She always calls me mom. So anything I do say, it's from the heart and it's honest. Free agent, who knows? I think maybe some of the girls are piling up to go to most valuable promotions. You know that they've got their first UK show headlining with Caroline Dubois. And obviously Sandy Ryan's ex-opponents, Terry Harper. So who knows? Sandy Ryan wasn't at the press conference. Don't know what happened there. I missed her at the weigh-in. I did go up, but I didn't get to speak to her because I missed her. I had to come back to Birmingham. So we'll see. We will see. Boxing is something that is always changing, evolution, all the rest of it. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with Sandy Ryan? Atang and Garber, then I'm sure Garber fought Matty Harris. I didn't realize that he fought Moses Atauma, but I do remember him fighting Matty Harris. So I was like, okay, let's have a look and see how we got on. Round one. Was it premature? Yes, in my eyes. Was the guy in trouble? Yeah, potentially. Could it have gone on a bit longer? Absolutely, yes. But it's what it is. I'm not the ref. I'm not standing in there. I'm not looking at Mr. Garber's eyes to see if he's actually okay to come on. I don't recognize this guy that Dave Allen's fighting, by the way. I'm just looking at his face. He looks like he doesn't want to be there. But yeah, so a nice, smooth win. Apparently did it at the same time as Moses Atauma. And whether anybody likes it or not, they both started young. They both debuted at 18. One with Queensbury, one with Matchroom. They are going to be spoken about together. It's what we do. When Anthony Joshua came in, they were talking about potential other fights that he should have been having with people that were further down the road than him. It's what we do. It's boxing. We compare people. It's competition. It's going to happen. So I get it. Atang saying I'm miles behind, but you're still going to get the comparison. So good for them, because the first thing they said was, yep, the timer knocked out Garber in round number 1 as well. So you do get those comparisons. Tia Ayton and Ramos then. Very, very interesting fight that was. And I think Tia is very, very hard on herself. I think that she probably would have wanted to get the stoppage, knowing how competitive she is, knowing what she's done so far. But I think it's brilliant that she got the rounds in. Very, very important to get those rounds in. She needs that experience. She hasn't had that long career of traveling around the world with the amateurs, getting in the experience of the Americans, of the Mexicans, worldwide boxing experience. So she's going to learn a craft in the professional arenas. So I think it's really good. Dave Allen starts off with a lovely overhand right there with his opponent that's just standing in the corner and fell on the floor. And the crowd cheers. He didn't want to be there. He's probably just going to, I don't even know where they got this guy from. But what's his name? Berajem. Never seen him before in my life. He looks like he just wants to climb out the ring. He's even running now. He's going to fall on the floor again. Why are we even here? How did he even get in the ring? Dave Allen has literally no real technique. It's just a swinging match as he catches Berajem with an uppercut. Yeah, crazy, crazy scenes. Going to the body, going to the head. This guy's just tucking up, leaning forward. No doubt, before the end of the round, he'll be back on the floor again. He doesn't want to be there. And there you have it, just like that. As it came out of my mouth, he falls on the floor. The ref waves it off. Pointless fight. But here we are, I got the win. And the crowd's happy. They paid the tickets. Anyway, back to Tia Ayton. Back to Tia Ayton. Yeah, she needed the rounds. A really competitive opponent, somebody that turned up and wanted to fight as well. So well done for Tia Ayton, getting the win, onwards and upwards. Everyone needs the experience. Yes, Iffy. Yes, Andrew. What was the point of that? What was the point of that? I don't know. To be fair, I didn't even clock him at the weigh-in. I did see Dave Allen in the hotel, as you know. I spoke to Jamie Moore. Got a really good conversation with him, actually. I'm going to have a proper sit down with him. But, you know what? He's got through this. He's got through this fight. He's won. The guy didn't want to be there. It wasn't competitive. He's got a win on his record. Look at him. He's smiling. He's smiling. It's happy. His whole team is smiling in the corner. Like, yeah, we've collected some change. Let's go. Insane boxing. Insane sport. But yeah, Dave Allen has this. If is Dave Allen ready to go in for a British title? What, yeah, so many questions. So many questions. Andrew puts over that guy 1067. Good evening to you. If you said yeah, but all you can do is laugh. Andrew says, what was the point of this matchup? I really don't know. If he says, yeah, what was the point of the opponents? James Douglas towering. The only Chris Welsh. Good evening. How are you, Chris? All good. All good. That guy goes on to say it was mad, really great bring along fight. Shouldn't have a head down at all. Yeah, insane. Bro got paid thousands for less than 3 minutes worth. Easy cash. Yeah. Say if he was expecting just a little bit more, but when I saw him walking out, I just knew he weren't really on anything because it didn't even look like he wanted to be there. And like Chris says, is anyone shocked by that opponent? No. It was always going to be a comeback winning fight for Allen, in my opinion. But again, I understand the frustration. Yeah, it could have been somebody a little bit better than that. But sometimes you do have these fights on these cards. It's been a while since we've had sort of like what they call a knockover fight, a pushover fight, but it is what it is. So if you've just joined us on Abs of October Reds, we are here for the Wood versus Warrington 2 matchup. Interesting fight. These guys literally don't like each other. I've been to press conferences with them both. I've been there with the cameras on and the cameras off. I think it's genuine. I think they literally just want to beat the hell out of each other. And that's what I'm expecting for the main event. And after this, I think we definitely need to see something. Yes, Dave Allen. Good evening, Big Papa. Dave Allen has had his fight, and it was over in less than a round. And his opponent didn't want to be there. And then when he got up and was in the corner at the end of the fight on the stoppage, he was smiling with his team. Yeah. So you haven't missed anything. He fell over on the floor, just literally fell over. And I agree, if he that was below comeback fight. But yeah, business is business, low risk, and now he's likely getting that British title shot. I don't know, because where do you think this guy was ranked? And there's a lot of things that I want to unpack with you guys this evening. It is still following on from yesterday. First of all, Jamie Takivi wins the British belt. Yeah, we're here. So now it's an opponent. The first opponent that was mentioned was Dave Allen. And you have to remember, before Takivi and David Adelaide fought for the British belt when Adelaide won it, it was going to be Dave Allen and Jamie Takivi. Once again, the contracts were signed, the agreements were made, everyone was happy to fight. And I think one side was holding up the contract, etc., etc. So that was by the by. Everyone went their separate way. Takivi ends up winning the belt back. Dave Allen's pushed back in the mix as, yeah, we like this. Then it's like Johnny Fisher. No, sorry, Dave Allen wasn't put in there because he was fighting somebody else. Johnny Fisher was put in the mix. So that was all agreed, everything good to go. And then there was a mix up with the dates, who could do one date, etc., etc. That didn't happen. And then we're hearing rumours, potentially it's going to be Takivi versus Rapport, in-house fight, potentially going on, I don't know, whatever undercard is going to happen, etc., etc. Then we start to hear, potentially, is it Johnny Fisher again? So God knows what's happening. I don't know who's fighting who. When Johnny Fisher spoke to me, he said he's been sent a life-changing offer. I didn't probe on it because he looked like he didn't want to necessarily go into details. He mentioned about obviously having the conversation with Eddie, and we've seen a bit of a spin-off where other channels have probed him a little bit about it, and there's some guesses that maybe it was for on the Netflix card under the Ring, which seems to be just the Ring and Netflix. I don't think there's any co-promo as such, because I don't even think I've seen Queensbury on the Netflix one for Tyson Fury. But correct me if I'm wrong, the flyers could have been updated. So could it be that going on to that one, or could it be? And to be fair, the MF Pro versus Queensbury one, with Vidal Riley on it, with Deontay Wilder and Derek Chisora on it, that looks like the card's starting to fill up nicely. We've seen Denzel Bentley, Matty Harris, Vidal Riley. So there's fights starting to pile up on that card. So could it have been on that one? Life-changing offer. I'm going to push towards the Ring card. So who knows? There's a lot going on behind the scenes, and one of you quite rightly said, Ade said, there's going to be some, more news coming out. But like we said, this is boxing. We all know that some stuff's going to come out. I hear stuff all the time, and I keep my trap shut. I don't say anything to you guys. I just wait until it comes out, and then I might say, yeah, I knew. Or I might not say anything and just carry on with it. If I can't tell you about anything, it's pointless saying anything. So let's have a look. Iffy. That was below a combat fight level. Yeah, I don't think he should get the British title shot for that. Is Eddie plugging the British title shot there? Got to pick the right fight. Oh, bless him. Yeah, I thought as much one round. Yeah. Okay. I thought Ryan and Aiton were poor tonight, to be honest. Very fortunate decisions given for them. Well, Ryan was fortunate. I felt she didn't look herself. Maybe going back to 140 didn't help. There wasn't any snap. Yeah, she has obviously gone down in the weight, which, like I said, the women do a lot. I think Tia's potentially should be bigger than she's actually fighting at. I don't even know what her weight is off the top of my head, but I think she's actually bigger, or she could be at a bigger weight than she is. I didn't score, so I won't say, it shouldn't have went to that person, it shouldn't have went to that person. I thought Tia got the rounds in. She needed to get the rounds in. She looked like she was a little bit fatigued going into those later rounds. And yes, Sandy Ryan seems to, like you said about the snap, could be the boil down, but her feet weren't there. She weren't like in and out as she usually is, necessarily finding those angles like she usually does. She was head on, and obviously doing the inside work head on. There weren't any real angles. Angles is something that I would say Sandy was known for before. And that is why I said, is she gelling? Is she in the right place with the team that she's got? Only Sandy can answer that. But she's got the belt. She's a world champion again. So let's see what she does with that belt. It's a WBC. She's going to keep it. MVP are sort of encouraging the 3-minute rounds. Those girls have been dropping, except for Caroline still got hers. I think some of the MVP girls have dropped the WBC because they want to do 3 minutes, etc., etc. But we'll see. We will see. She might stay with Eddie. You don't know. There could be renegotiations. That is something that I haven't really spoken to Eddie about. But had a good couple of conversations the other day with Jamie Moore. So if you haven't checked that out on the channel, very interesting. One of the things that I was keen to speak to Jamie about was why the coaches take fighters back. The irony of the conversations I've had this week have been really strange. Because obviously I spoke to Chantel Cameron a couple of weeks before, and Chantel's so happy to go back. I mean, fair play to her. But it was like speaking to the coach, why would you let somebody back in if, they've walked away before? And it's a good conversation. Jamie Moore was absolutely fantastic. Like I said, I want to sit down, do some real proper work with him because he's got history. He was a fighter himself. He's been through his own trials and tribulations. And I just think he'd be a great guest for when I do these long form, sit down style conversations that I like to do. And you never get enough time on a press week. And I'm so greedy and I can't have it. Carl Frampton, another conversation that I had as well. Carl Frampton, I do like to see on commentary. I know he says he likes the punditry, to be fair to him, but I like to hear him on commentary as well because he's one of them that calls it as it is, an ex-fighter, somebody that understands fighting. He's had his own ups and downs with boxing. And one of the things that I asked him, and I did say, speak to the fighters. What advice would you give to fighters? Like I said, the irony of the conversations I've had this past week, have been really interesting because he said, make sure you look at the contracts, make sure you get somebody independent to look at the contracts, look at the small print, never get anybody in-house that's working with who you're going to sign with to go through the contract with you. So many gems in there from Carl Frampton as well, ex-fighter, two-weight world champion. So it was great to get the info from him. And these are the type of conversations I like to have with people because I like to learn stuff. And if I'm learning stuff, I'm going to make the presumption that you guys are learning stuff too. If you're way more educated than that and you know it all already, well done to you. But those types of conversations are really important. Going back to the Wednesday, when I was at the launch, the red carpet event for the DAZN extension with Matchroom as their broadcaster, I remember, like I said to Frank Smith, with obviously Turkey Al Sheikh getting involved in boxing, working across with all of the promoters, getting the ideas, getting almost like the blueprint for how you operate, knowing all the ins and outs, and then going and teaming up with Dana White. Does that not bother you? These are the type of, and I knew nothing about Conor Benn. And at one point, I played back the video to clip it. And I almost think the way that Frank's looking at me, he's like looking at me like to say, do you know something I don't? But I didn't. It was just the way the week went. It was crazy. But we are here and it's ever changing. Let's have a look. The Dave opponent looked like last minute replacements. Yeah, last minute replacement. Yeah, I can't argue with that. Because they want to get paid. Running a gym ain't free. I get it, and you would say that's the obvious reason, but I am different. I hold grudges. If you do something wrong to me, I don't do second chances. That is just the way I am. So me sitting in my seat, having my way of thinking, yeah, there will be other people that think like me. So I will ask that question. Some people will do anything for money and they'll think, you know what, I can put it to the side because I'm going to get paid. I'd rather be broke. That's me. I'd rather have no money. So sorry, Star Fox. Not everyone's motivated by money. there's other things that there's other characteristics about people that is, to me, as a person, that's way more important than money. That's just the way I operate. And I have locked people off because they've crossed the line or they've shown me disloyalty. I have done that and I'll continue to do that. That's just the way I am. By the way, the convo you had with Jamie Moore was amazing. Love his mindset. Thank you very much, James. I appreciate you listening to it. I appreciate anyone listening to it, to be fair, but thank you so much. Chris has gone on to say Tia was fighting bantamweight at that fight. Maybe that's why her and Ryan were under pars, probably bigger than the weights. Yeah, fair enough. And I did think that. I thought that maybe she should be fighting bigger than she actually is. Star Fox goes on to say, I love that Reddy's passionate about loyalty, but boxing is just one big business transaction, not a marriage. I get it, but I'm just not like that. That's just the way I am, Star Fox. I have to, if I think that I can't trust you, I won't work with you at all. It's just the way I am. And I agree, 68DG, loyalty is everything. I know they say, oh, everyone said, if you want loyalty, get a dog. If you want, when you put a lot on the line for people and then they disrespect you, and that has happened to me before, it's straight lock off. And you'll be lucky if I even look at you again, never mind speaking to you. Because some people, if you give them a chance, they'll just keep on taking the mick. And that is why I asked Jamie Moore that question. Why do you take people back? Because I mentioned about Don Charles taking Daniel Dubois back. It's something that I have spoke about before. Because if you snake me and you move off like that, you can't think everything's going to be comfortable because you're going to slap me some change. It doesn't work like that. Not with me. 68DG says you can leave a promoter, but be respectful, especially to Hearn if your name is Connor and he calls him Head. We've seen what misplaced loyalty, Star Fox, we've seen what misplaced loyalty does. It keeps the pastor acting crazy, pure cult settings. It's just the way I am. Australian Glover, elements of this Matchroom show and DAZN are insulting to the fans' intelligence. What do you mean the opponent for Dave Allen? Is that what you mean, Australian Glover? Even dogs aren't that loyal. Let somebody else start feeding your dog and see what happens. Very good point. If you want loyalty, get a dog. Fighters don't care about the promoters and vice versa. I still feel for Hernan Smith after the face the heat after what he went on with Ben. And that is the reason. I'm not saying, you and I all know, fighters leave coaches, leave promotional companies all the time. We see it all the time, and it happens. Lawrence Okoli, Joshua Boazzi, when they left Matchroom to go to Boxer, etc., and then they both went on to Frank Warren in the end. We've seen it. Lawrence got some stick. Do you remember Lawrence getting stick? Because of obviously Eddie was putting on fights for him, doing the whole promotional shit, the old Rolex, all of that was coming into it. Lawrence got some stick for that as well. Yeah, because it's what your promotional company has done for you, and then it seems like it's a slap in the face. But it happened, it was minuscule compared to the Conor Benn thing. It was, but we still had a go about it. Do you know what I mean? It's just the way it is. But with Conor Benn, what I am saying, and what a lot of the other people are saying as well, I'm not saying you to agree with us, but what I remember is going to that press conference. Obviously, they all knew that the test was failed. The fight was supposed to happen. It wasn't supposed to happen. Then obviously all of us got hold of it. The media got hold of it. And Eddie stood there and took all the flack for Conor, stuck up for him, did like 7,000 interviews, stood there and backed his boy, shoved us all off. People started to hate him even more because of it. That loyalty that he stuck with his fighter, and you can say, yeah, if it was any other fighter, he would have put him in the bin. Conor Benn's giving him money. He's, building a stuff. But you have to remember, Eddie Hearn's built Conor Benn as well. Yes, he's got his father's name, but Eddie has always looked after him. That's been one of the favourites Like I said to you guys yesterday, he often mentioned Conor Benn in the same sentence with Anthony Joshua. You could see those were his favourites. So when you see all of that, then it comes out the other side. Then kind of starts to win over the public again. You know, the saga with him and Chris Eubank Jr. Everything going on. They all get paid. Everyone gets paid, and then it's like, okay. Eddie said it in an interview. He shook his head and he was like, "I was an idiot. I can't believe we had such a great relationship. I didn't even think, I've got to get everything in writing." So it's obvious that the contract had lapsed. So who's going to know that the contract has lapsed? Like I said, if you're working with people that you're letting in and know everything about your business, it's an easy target. You saw Dana White say, "I've had no pushback." It's been, in his words, which is, especially in this day and age, beating up babies was the word that he used. Like, basically, there was no competition. He could just bulldoze his way in and do what he wants. When you put all of that together and then you see the announcement, people are like, hold on a minute. After everything that happened, after you got your promoter to stick up for you, your promoter to speak for you, etc., etc., you've gone and done that. Come on, man. It's different. It's different. It's not straightforward. It's not just like one of his other fighters going away and you think, yeah, all right then, yeah, all right, bye. Nah, weird. Let's have a look at the comments. Sports with Blake 3. Trust October, lock off instant. Yeah, that's just me. As I said, scumbag move. That word. Chris Eubank Jr. should have patterned that and got some merch done with it, because the way that he says it, he's so softly spoken and direct with his words. Scumbag. You should have patterned that. Right. Chris is saying, is it a big loss? Absolutely not. Ben in father's shadow, nowhere near his father's level. Ben not even won an area title. He thinks he's bigger than what he was hunting for, a Shakur autograph. Now, at the moment, what I'm not going to do, because this is still when you're in the shock moments and then you might say something, you think, oh, let's not be too biased. Let's see what happens with him, with Zoffa. So far, we've seen the rumors of 8-figure signing on or 8-figure deal. How many fights is in that? It's supposed to be one. I think that's cap. Third-party reporting. Let's see what Dana White say. Let's see what card he goes on to. Let's see the fights that he has. He's gone now, and he's written his letter, his goodbye letter, and he's going on his own path. Let's see what happens. That's the only thing that we can do. Did he do it in the right way? No. And that's the end of it, isn't it? But like you said, is it a massive loss? I'd say after the work that they've put in with both him and Eubank Jr. fighting each other, it did make global news. So when we look at fights nowadays, it's not everyone that's looking at the belts. It's not everyone that's looking at the rankings. It's all about, have you got that superstardom about you? Boxing's just nowhere near traditional. Going back to speaking to Carl Frampton, he said he's old school. He says, you're getting so many boxers spending much time on Instagram when they should be practicing the skills in the gym. He's not a fan of the brand of the boxer, but he said he's old school. But times are changing. You've just heard the crowd scream with joy and happiness while Dave Allen's knocked out somebody that just clearly didn't want to be there and came for some money. This is where we're at, guys. This is the truth. So Chris goes on to say fighters have left promoters and these promoters are still here doing well. Well, most of them. Martin says Bennett is going nowhere anyway. Might shift tickets, but is seriously a limited fighter. Would love to see Shakur box his ears off if that fight could be made. And this is where we're thinking, okay, who's going to fight who? Are we going to get the cross-platform block? are they going to come under the ring umbrella? So therefore, when it's the ring umbrella, you can pull in all the other networks, all the other, sorry, promotional companies, and you can pick and choose your fighters. If it's a ring promotion, then yes, depending who Shakur's with, will they let them go and fight on Zoffa? Because I've got to see how this kind of pans out, because at the moment it's still a bit hazy. That I've still got a bit of a short-sighted view on it because I don't know what can happen. So I think it's kind of like a time will tell. The fighters that have been on the Zuffa cards so far are not fighters that are signed to anybody else except for Zuffa. So they're pulling in the fighters. So are they going to pull in more fighters? I have absolutely no doubt they are, potentially with inside information, finding out who's still in contract, who can they approach, etc., etc. I have absolutely no doubt that something like that is happening, because there's going to be a lot of hard, as Callie Sowland put it, aggressive tactics to get the fighters that they want. They want to make that Zuffa belt that's been promoted the exclusive belt, to dim out the other belts, to make their platform the only platform to be on. And then therefore the knock-on effect of that is the other promoters won't be doing that well. That's the aim of the game, to become number one, to make it that you run the, I think a forbidden word is a monopoly, but that's what it is. So Star Fox said Eddie used to get booed at every appearance and loved it. Defending Connor must have been a walk in the park when it comes to a hater. So that guy goes on to say, while you're on the subject, do you think Abel Sanchez could have taken Golovkin back, or Derek would have taken Spence back? Or is it water off a duck's back for UK trainers, but maybe not over there? And that's a fair point. I don't know. I just think people see things differently, and I have the utmost respect for guys that, like I said, have that level of maturity to be able to say, you know what, let bygones be bygones. This time we're going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to be tighter with the rules, tighter with the contract. It's strictly business. The friendship is not what it was, and let's move on. That's amazing. That is amazing maturity. Um, I've just said I'm nowhere near that, and I don't want to be quite frank about it. So Ben fought in America while on a ban and only sold 100 tickets. Dana might have done Eddie a favor, to be honest. Yeah, I did see the comments about that. What was that guy's name that he fought, and he'd lost his snap as well? I was going to say, excuse the pun, pop, but he'd lost his snap, hadn't he? So I did hear about the low ticket sales. So look, we've got to see what happens. This will all blow over and it'll be something else next week. This is the beauty of the sport. It was like shock horror for most of us. We're still talking about it a couple of days on. I did make remark that I bet, Ben Shalom's laughing his little socks off about it. It's always going to be someone's turn in boxing, isn't it? And that's just how it goes. I think moving forward, I'd probably go old school. I'd probably, me being me and being quite petty, I'd probably be on the phone to all the UK promoters and start pulling rank, I think, and look at the ways that you can protect your fighters. But the big, massive thing for us all is money. When you get those big checks wafted in front of your face, you're seeing those, multiple numbers in your bank account. It must be hard to say no. I've said to you guys yesterday, I've never been offered 6, 7, 8 figures. So I don't know what it's like to have that type of money. So if it's there and someone's offering it to you, are you necessarily going to say no? But if I know that somebody would take a bullet for me, I think if I even did consider it, I would be grown enough to have a real adult conversation with the hand that has literally fed me when I've been okay, whether or not it's me that's getting in the ring, and when I wasn't in the ring, has also looked after me then. So Fawaz is getting into the ring. I'm looking forward to this fight, you know. See who's going to win this. Ben Fort, yeah, we've got that one. So let's have a look. Sean Taylor, good evening to you. Apparently, yeah, I've seen this. Mark Tibbs is saying that they could be in it together. Eddie and Connor agreed for this one fight deal. Then he comes back and Eddie takes a piece. Who knows if there's any truth in that? Listen, none of us know. Like I said, it's still a bit hazy. We've got to see what it is. That does sound conspiracy theorist. However, it's boxing. Anything's possible. From the interviews that I've seen, I doubt that's the case. Maybe Mark Tibbs knows something that we don't know, but I'm just going to take it as the disrespect that it is and see what happens with Conor Benn's future. Martin says a duffer at Zuffer, perfect. Don't underestimate them, and don't underestimate the information that they have got to be able to target and get certain fighters. I spoke to Frank Smith a couple of days before it was announced that Jaya Pataya was going over to them as well. So they have got real power in the industry to move and shake. Conor Benn definitely won't be the last of it. I would like to see over the next few weeks which fighters they're going to take. They've took 2 of Eddie's. Let's see if they start touching any of Frank Warren's. I'm all for one belt. To be honest, in some weight classes, we're still debating who's the best in that weight class. Usyk and others have been exemptions. I mean, I don't mind one belt, but do we need another belt for there to be one belt? Do you know what I mean? I think that's the issue that I've got. It's just whatever. The Star Fox goes on to say, Zuffer is the new PBC. Al Heyman tried this before and failed miserably. Early days, I'm not sure that this is going to fail. I don't want it to fail. The idea of centralizing boxing, I don't like that. But another promoter in the business, I don't think that's a bad thing. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Dion Gabriel, good name that is, Gabriel. Isn't it a one-fight contract? Allegedly, but that's third-party reporting. I need to hear Dana say what it is, not somebody else that's got information from somebody else. Dana isn't stupid either. He knows it. He knows that guy is all about the payday, and I don't believe that he's bothered about belts and legacy. Yeah, I agree with you, Dion. Having seen how Ben carried himself during Eggate, whether he's stupid or not, is still up for debate. James Douglas goes on to say, where's Connor Tudsbury? Haven't seen him in a while, injured. I think he might have been injured before, but I thought he was okay. Light heavyweight. They've got quite a few light heavyweights. Competition is going to be stiff for him. Even though he does get his opponents out of there, you can say that he's an exciting, he's a boxer puncher, isn't he, Connor Tudsbury? To be fair, I probably should have asked Jamie Moore about that. It's a fair point. I slipped up there. The weight class thing isn't a bad idea. Obviously, you're talking about the belts there. Super welterweight, then we've got Fawaz versus Ishmael Davies. I'm looking forward to this fight, actually. It's the one before the main event. I don't even know what time we are, on 8:45, so I guess they're going to have about an hour of talk in between each round. We've got Xavier Miller, Dillian White's ex-trainer, in the corner of Bilal Fawaz, a fighter that probably could have achieved a lot more if he didn't go through the trials and tribulations in his life, as I'm sure you've watched him speak about it. Very well-spoken young man. He actually does speak like that, really. It's not a mock-up. I did laugh and say, oh, he's like, Chris Eubanks Sr., or from, did we say Fashion Nova or Timu at the time? Ishmael Davies, another one of Matchroom faithfuls, somebody that turns up, took plenty of fights on short notice, suffered losses, got his wins as well. It'd be interesting to see how this goes. I think this is going to be a good fight. I know Bilal is tricky and can really box, but I think Ishmael might have his way with him. But let's see how it goes. Let us see how it goes. I think it's in the best interest that Ishmael wins, but I do know that Eddie definitely does like Bilal because of his attitude, the way that he's carried himself, the Junaid Bostan fights. I mean, what's happening with Junaid Bostan? What's happening with Cameron Bong? There's all of these like young fighters that were coming through, tipped to be, the next best thing. And now it seems to have gone a little bit quiet with those guys. So let's have a look. Ishmael's getting the gum shield in. Both males in the center of the ring. Ref reading them, and I like to call it the last right. So if you've just joined us, it is Ishmael Davis versus Bilal Fawaz. I think it's for the English and Commonwealth titles for these two guys. Should be a good fight. I think the press conference, I think Bilal was trying to get into the head of Ishmael Davis. I don't know if that worked. And I do believe getting into fighters' heads is key for fight night. If you can get into a fighter's head, if they're emotional or there's a little bit of weakness mentally, you can really use that on fight night. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Bilal takes the center of the ring as Ishmael Davis, comes with a nice stiff jab. Good, nice stance there from Fawaz. As once again, Davis lands a stiff jab that causes Fawaz to go back a little bit. He comes out with a high guard, elbows almost flailed. And this is Fawaz. Quite an awkward stance that he's got as he tries to push Davis back onto the ropes. But Davis there trying to catch him coming in. Little tiny steps as Davis moves to the left of the ring. And Fawaz, like tippy-tappy, toe-tappy, follows him back. Ishmael Davis then pivots out to the right and takes the center of the ring himself. There's a battle for it at the moment. And Davis is back on the back foot. Fawaz just misses a jab to the body as one lands to the body of Fawaz through Davis as he punches through and lands the jab, just skimming the face of Fawaz. Fawaz there caught Davis on the move. Davis off balance there. Both fighters just feeling each other out. We've got Davis in the southpaw stance, so switching back to orthodox. Fawaz stays in the orthodox stance. High guard. Davis there throwing a punch that just throws Fawaz back a little bit as he rolls the shot and tries to push through with an uppercut. Unsuccessful uppercut. There we go. The feints, nice feints there from Fawaz as he feints twice with the jab hand, then goes to the body. That seems to land as he's already started his showboat, staring into the face of Davis, almost like mocking him to say, here I am. High guard from Fawaz there as Davis tentatively throws the jab hand from the southpaw, the backhand being now the left hand that hits Fawaz clean in the face, just knocking him back slightly, but nothing to keep him off balance or to stop him from coming back forward. Fawaz now keeps that right hand close to the chin as he feints with the jab once again to go with the jab to the body. Beautiful jab there from Davis, catches Fawaz clean. Not enough to knock him back, but just to show a bit of presence there. A nice inside hook from Davis as well to Fawaz. Fawaz has his hands down. Davis there times him nicely as he tries to do a crossbar defense, and Davis just pushes through and gets the jab on the head of Fawaz. A 1-2 comes in from Davis. However, Fawaz manages to move out of the way and the shots do not connect. A little bit of reddening on the nose of Fawaz here as he throws his 1-2, showboats a little bit, just with pulling faces, and goes back into his corner. Interesting. Right. Martin says, Dana doesn't treat fighters well. Ask Tom Aspinall. Okay, fair enough. Is that the one that nearly got blinded? He looks after Don Jones. Is it John Jones? Johnny Bones? I'm not familiar with the UFC. If he says Fawaz for the win, I know you've put P's on that. 50-50 from Chris Welsh, whether Zuffa boxing will work or not. I'm with you, 50-50. I'm not going to write them off. Absolutely no way. Not, like I said, we've got His Excellency working with him that's got the experience, knows the fighters, knows how it work, would have seen the payments, etc., etc. Dana White's like hit a gold mine there because he's got one of the key investors by his side, if you want to look at it like that. Right, we're going into round number 2. I shall come back to the comments shortly. Round number 2 of this 12-round championship fight between Ishmael Davis and Bilal Fawaz. A good fight that was talked up at a burger bar inside of one of the venues until the fight actually happened. It's so weird that Fawaz does this weird guard with his elbows pointing down to the floor, like 50 centimeters away from his face, almost like putting up this false guard. But when Davis goes in to hit him, it's like he's too far away. Davis on the back foot, but moving around comfortably. Fawaz on the front foot, slipping a couple of the shots there, using the guard. I'd like to see more work. The feints seem to work with Davis, but it's like you're feinting, but are you going to follow up with, a 1 and a 2, not necessarily just a 1 shot? I think Davis just wants to get inside to have a fight. I mean, okay, he's all right with the boxing. He's in the southpaw stance at the moment, and this is Ishmael Davis. He's donning the black trunks. Nice backhand there. Like I said, there's a little bit of reddening to the face of Bilal, but he doesn't seem bothered. Shots haven't necessarily landed clean as such. Some of them have landed, but not enough to say, okay, I noticed that one. No doubt the judges will have something else to say because they'll be scoring points here. What I just don't want to see is Davis get tired as the rounds go on. Sorry, we're only in round number 2 of 12, but Davis is very, very muscular as he switches from southpaw to orthodox back to southpaw. Those muscles do eat up the energy. It's good being in shape. It's good having that for power, etc. But oxygen can play havoc when you're in the ring. You have to be extremely fit, not just athletically or aesthetically fit to the eye. Nice double jab coming in there from Davis. Better work coming in from him. Confident to go forward on the front foot, but it's almost like he's leading Fawaz to come back so he can let him walk onto something. Maybe a backhand. Maybe he looks to switch the stance when he does walk back onto something and catch him with either the right jab or the left backhand, or either way around. That's a bit of inside work from both of them. Some hooks going into the head. We are in round number 2 of this 12-round fight. I think if it becomes like a little bit of a cat and mouse, I can see Davis potentially getting frustrated. You might start really coming forward with shots, leaning into them. Yeah, there was some reddening. He's got a little bit of blood from his nose. I thought so. It's Fawaz in the corner. Right, Xavier's telling him to counter him to slow him down. Don't let him come back with any flurries. Step out, make him miss. Right, 68 DG says Napa said he was due to have a meeting with Zoffa to discuss some of his fighters until the Ben news. What's that got to do with it? Why would that stop him speaking to Zoffa? Zoffa needs grassroots fighters too. They don't have a stable. Interesting. Chris is saying Davis is the favourite, but Fawaz is that underdog that you can't count out. You definitely can't, because he's awkward. And I think, it's going to get to a point where Davis is going to want to start to punch him and hurt him, because continuously missing is also very tiring. And we're still looking at fighters that have not definitely comfortably found their exact range to really get the shots off well. But to be fair to Fawaz, David threw some in there at close range, but Fawaz was able to slip and roll and dip the shots, predict almost what Davis was going to do. Some good defense work from Fawaz, I will say that. I would just like to see, like I said, Fawaz just potentially just Go in a little bit more and just give a little bit of work. We got a 1-2 there, and another attempt at a 1-2. This is Fawaz to Davis. The first one went through, the second one not quite. Nice, lovely backhand from the southpaw stance by Davis as he throws a double hook to the head of Fawaz. This is what he wants. Davis wants him close enough so he can really start to unload those combinations. Switch off and he will get you. That seemed to have woke Fawaz up a little bit now, because now we're getting more work from him. Pushing forward. Davis on the back foot. Fawaz looking to throw some punches. But you can see there, I think maybe Davis's punches hold a little bit of power because Fawaz is not looking comfortable with engaging. There's almost like a startle when he goes out of shot, goes out of range. Apologies. Got just over a minute left in round number 3 of 12. Fawaz being slippery once again with the defense. The jab goes out to Fawaz. Fawaz jabs Davis. Inside work, nice 2 body shots there from Davis as Fawaz catches him on the chin. But like I said, there's that startledness when he like pulls back, like he's almost like a flinch, like he doesn't necessarily want to get hit. His chin is way up in the air, and this is Fawaz here. If Davis was to really just sit and just grind an uppercut in, that could be curtains. The uppercut, as soon as his head drops, the hook, just the old school signatures shots could probably cause some damage. And I think Davis can afford to take that risk. But none of them are taking any extreme risks at the moment. As Fawaz attempts to throw a 1-2, Davis completely out of range, pushes himself back onto the ropes, and Fawaz misses. And the bell goes, and that is the end of round number 3, I think. Was it round number 3? James goes, Fawaz has some story. I would like him to win, but I think Davis wins. If he goes on to say, I wish you'd stop trolling mid-fight. Fawaz is hilarious. Good stuff so far. It is. Excuse me. Just trying to listen to what the coaches are saying in the corner. I like that. Kids standing up. I do like when they stand up in the corner. When they're in the gym, when they're sparring and stuff, there's rarely any chairs in the corner. They'll stand up in the corner. It helps you breathe in better anyway when you stood up, I think. Right, round number 4 of 12. If you've just joined us, I'm Abs of October Red, and this is the live watch along. No footage for Wood versus Warrington 2, the headline. But right about now, we're just going into round number 4 with Ishmael Davis and Bilal Fawaz. I believe it's a British and Commonwealth title. These guys are in the welterweight range. So let's have a look and see how the gentlemen are both getting on. It seems as if Davis has taken the center of the ring this time. Let's see if he can keep Fawaz on his back foot. Is Fawaz going to try and push forward? Davis's legs remind me of Deontay Wilder. So muscular at the top, and then he's got these like really slim legs. Oh, sweet. The 1-2 was coming in there from Fawaz, but David just caught him with the counter as Fawaz was going on his way out. And these are the shots that you can do. Just catch him either on the way in or on the way out. His chin is so high. 1, 2, 3 coming in from Fawaz, but when he throws his shots, it's like he's up like this. So he's there to get chinned. Davis has got Fawaz on the ropes now, both of them trading on the inside as Fawaz comes back with his own shots. Davis goes into the body and to the head. Good controlled work. This is what he wants. Ref, let them fight it out. I was about to say, yeah, to keep out of the way, because this is where the action is. And that's where Davis is comfortable. Very, very comfortable on the inside. But Fawaz, he's fought his way out of it, got off the ropes as he goes forward with his 1-2 to Davis. Davis comes back with a jab. None of them landing yet as such. A lot of shots coming off the glove. Davis goes back into the orthodox stance. 1, 2, 3. Nice combinations there as Davis comes in from Fawaz. The jab lands. He's so animated, isn't he, Fawaz? Backhand coming in from Davis. Some nice hooks going into the head from Fawaz. See that there's a little bit of pressure starting to build up now because now Davis is the one that is on the front foot and he's on the hunt for Fawaz. I think if he just keeps that pressure on, just lets his hands go a little bit, potentially find some nice angles, just try and corner him because he is slippery and he will try and get away from the shots that you're throwing. Saying that, now Fawaz goes on the front foot, Davis on the back foot. Round number 4 has ended. Let's have a look. Just going to have a look and see. Well, I was going to have a look and see what's on Twitter. See if it will reload it. You never know. When I press anything on this internet, I could end up like locking the whole thing off. Not like I haven't done that before. I'm just going to see what's happening on. See what's happening on X. Oh, I'm just thinking about Sandy Ryan. Is she going to be able to keep at 140 now that she's got that belt? Who's she going to go in against? I did like Meatball Molly's fight. She's improved from the last fight that she had. She really settled into this. I was looking forward to speaking to her actually at the weigh-in day because I get on quite well with her as well. She's so funny. Let's have a look. Yeah, obviously we've got Clarissa and that. I think they had their weigh-in. I don't even know if that was yesterday or today or whenever those guys are fighting. I heard that Franchon Cruz was on the floor. Some mishap. I don't know what happened there. People arguing, etc. I've watched the highlights for that one. Right, here we go into round number 5 of 12. Ishmael Davis versus Bilal Fawaz. Fawaz once again on the front foot, jab. He throws out as Davis throws a double jab back, jab to the body, jab to the head. This is the work from Davis. More work coming in from Davis here. Nice different shots as well. We've got the variation to the head and the body, not just using the jab, but using hooks as well. He switched, and this is Davis. He switched to southpaw, which, to be fair, is it having a necessary impact on Fawaz? Fawaz tries to lovely work from Fawaz as he gets on the inside, throws some combinations to the body of Davis. Doesn't phase him, but he's still getting some shots off. Guys, if you're scoring this, I wish you'd tell me what the scores are because we're in round number 5 and I haven't scored any of this. I probably should have done, really. Got my little bit of line paper and scored it. Next week, I can't believe it. I totally forgot. Things are crazy at the moment. That Queensbury's got a match on in Derby, which is also not far from Birmingham. So I have to see how that one goes. Potentially, it may be another watch along for you guys, but we'll see. We'll see how next week goes. It could be a week off. I know that March and April is looking extremely busy for boxing. I will be going to some of the events and I will be doing watch-alongs for some of them. I have applied for accreditation for the MVP show. That's fight night. I've applied for a Talma versus Franklin fight night. Who's the other one? And I think Shizora Wilder. I might have applied for accreditation for that, but I'm not sure. Can't remember. But either way, if I'm not there on fight night, I'll be doing watch-alongs for those fights. The Manchester ones I usually go to be fair. The one at the O2 in London, the MF versus Queensbury, I'm not sure if I'll go to that because the O2 is an absolute nightmare to get to. All right, you've got Davies, 68. Thank you very much because I wasn't scoring it. So 68 DG's got Davies up, and that's 40-36. Right, technique. Eddie Hearn has been giving cards. I hope Zuffa changes up the game. Do you think they will? Do you think they will change up the game? They've got to get popular fighters, which I can see what they're trying to do. Obviously, they've got Jaya Pataya now, Conor Ben. Don't know why that's a one-fight deal. If it is a one-fight deal, like I said, nothing's been confirmed. You don't write a Dear John letter to your promoter because you're leaving him for one fight, do you? Whatever, we'll see. And then they obviously need to grow with some grassroots fighters, and I think someone's already put that in the chat as well. They need grassroots as well, so they need to get us to get to know some fighters, get behind them. UFC were known for great storytelling when it came to their fighters, so I think they need to start to do the same thing with the boxers as well. So we'll see. So Django is saying that Ishmael is fluid when he's not allowing Fawaz to style on him. Yeah. I just don't like the fact that Fawaz's chin is so high up in the air. He is there to get chinned. Every time I look at it, I'm thinking it's not tucked at all. You can see Davies has his chin is down. That glove stays under his chin there as like a protector as well. But Fawaz doesn't have that. But he's not following through with the shots because, like I said, Fawaz is confident enough to take a couple, as he has just done then, and just stood there, not done nothing, and Davies hasn't followed up. It's like he's almost confident to do that as he runs down Davies and tries to let some shots go. And Davies just looks back at him and laughs. Davies trying to hit him, punching down. We've got the showboating once again from Fawaz because Davies is trying to land on him and he's not landing on him. He's taking the mick. It's one of these where you don't know if someone's going to get knocked out, so you just want to keep your eye on the screen, but you're mindful it isn't necessarily paced the way that you would like it to be. But we've got the main event, and I am relying on the main event to be absolute hellfire. It needs to be. It does need to be after Dave Allen just like went through these guys, messing around in the ring a little bit. I'd like to see just really let their hands go, really go at it with each other. But it's a boxing match. It hasn't always got to be like that. That guy says €2 so far for Zuffa. Yeah. I wonder who else they're going to try and sign. I wonder if they're going to target Frank Warren's stable. Especially with all the heavyweights that Frank Warren's got. Are they going to do that? That's what I'm looking for. But we shall see. I'm going to have a quick look on X to see what is going on. Dan Frost has just put up former world champions Darren Barker and Barry Jones are really good commentators. Adam Swift's on there as well, but he didn't mention him. That was funny. Anyway. Wild scenes at the cruise. Shields cruise discern 2 weigh-ins. Surprise, surprise. Boxing Beats and Rhymes has just posted the Victim Eubank Jr. and his Victim fan base are some strange geezers. Oh, let's see what Billy Nelson has said. Billy Nelson does make me laugh, actually. Billy Nelson tweeted, even though it was a few hours ago now, I don't know what's going on my Twitter. What I can't get my head around with the Ben and Hearn thing is, Ben, in my opinion, is a very limited fighter. He's never won any title of note. And in my opinion, loses to all the current world champions. I'd rather sign a great fighter than a limited fighter who can chat shite. But that was quite old. I want to know if he's going to stay with Tony Sims. Hey, Jay Lanks, I saw you earlier on in the Undefeated Live. That was funny. It was good to go back on there. When they do it in the daytime, I don't mind it. But that Monday night smoke now, I'm just like knackered. Long day at work, straight to bed. I'm knackered. So yeah, it's good to see you. Hope you are well. Your thumbnails, your YouTube thumbnails, quite the one. That is GTA, isn't it? Here we go again. And listen. Here we go again. Apparently, I don't know if you've watched the Adeola Depot thing. It's a shame I can't put it in here. Apparently, he said there's going to be some news coming up and some more news coming up. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Like I said, I think Zuffa are going to be on a mad one. I think we're going to see more signings. The Shockers Connor. Are we going to get any more? Is there another signing? I'll put this back to you guys. Is there another signing that could be more shocking than Conor Benn going to Zuffa? I mean, is there? What if, and I'm not saying that it's going to happen. So what if Tyson Fury signed to Zuffa? What would you think then? Would you be shocked? No, I don't think anything's going to top the Conor Benn one. And I really can't see Anthony Joshua doing anything like that. And to be fair, Anthony Joshua needs to have some, time out for himself. I mean, he'll do what he wants anyway. But he does need to, to take some time out just to recuperate. Like I said, having suffered a loss in the family recently, I know that it's not a nice thing to go through, and it's especially not when it's two people and you were there to see it. So, should he even be fighting yet? I don't think so. But we'll see how it goes. This fight tends to be like a similar pace all the way through. We are in round number, 7 of 12, and we have got them letting shots go, but the rounds seem to be just replaying themselves over and over again. There's no real let's up the gears. When you hear the commentators and they say, let's up the gear. There's no gear up in here. It's almost there's a little bit of buzz missing from this fight. 68 DG Garcia is apparently a free agent after tonight. Garcia versus Ben. Yes, I did see that. I saw something was out on Instagram a couple of days ago about Ryan Garcia becoming a free agent. It'd be interesting. And to be fair, I really should have watched what Oscar De La Hoya said about obviously Conor Benn going to Zuffa as well. I didn't watch that one, but I believe Boxing Social have got some content out with him, so I probably need to catch up with that because I'd like to see what he says, because currently he's in a bit of an argument, a bit of a legal battle. I'm sure I've seen potential, not charges as there were, but particular things, rules that have been broken that are in this legal document in regards to Virgil Ortiz. Because Virgil Ortiz, was he going to go to Zuffa or was he going to go to Matchroom? So they could have got the fight on with Boots. Who knows? Bam, we had literally Robert Garcia with Bam, like talking about Zuffa's paying these fighters. They're not getting the money that Zuffa's going to pay them, etc., etc. So it looked like Bam was potentially going over there. Then Eddie had some matching rights. Then it was sort of like, yeah, that's all sorted now. And then there's something rumbling underneath again. So who knows? But any fighter that does go to Zuffa, they're not interested in, obviously, the 4 belts. Obviously, Zuffa will have the ring belt. That belongs to them, you could say. So any fighter that does go over there, it's definitely not about the belts. It's about having good fights and getting paid good money for it. Yeah, I agree. 68 GD. Fawaz does. Well, here we go. Nice uppercut and hook coming in from Davis. This is what I want to see. The gears going up in the fight. It just seemed one pace. It seemed quite stagnant, predictable. The same round repeating after time. But I just need to see the gears go up as Fawaz lunges in and literally runs and throws shots in to the face of Ishmael Davis. If you guys have scored this, please let me know what your scores are. The guy thinks he's boxing a clean sweep. Let's have a look. Dion goes on to say Fawaz ball sense showing his corner are right to have a goal. He's behind and not technically good enough to fight the way he's trying to. Yeah, I will second that. Yeah. Mill, is it Milo Taylor? Good evening to you. Ben is a cat for money. He's a fiend for that doll. Yeah, I get that. But yeah, dangerous. One of the things in any business, I'd say, is just really be careful about the bridges that you burn. It's better work coming in from Fawaz there. Throwing a few shots there. Davis on the back foot. 54 seconds left in that round. Fawaz running around, turning his back. To be fair, they're quite fit, but the pace has been so slow. Jab coming out from Fawaz. Davis slipping the jab. Right. Peter Fury is the best trainer in the world, and Tyson needs him. They'll never go back, though, will they? I think that's just done and dusted. There's no bad words said. I do like the code that those guys have got. They may not speak, but they'll never say anything disrespectful publicly about each other. I like that. There's a code. They're still family at the end of the day. I can't see Tyson ever going back to Peter Fury or vice versa. It's one of them, isn't it? It's one of them. Mark Simo, cool blow by blow. Oh, is that the fight that's just happening? Yeah, I'm switching off here. I can't get into this fight. Correct. Reed Bridges burned. Ben is a pariah now in the UK. Yeah, I mean, you know what it's like. You know what we're like when the Brits all get together. Because I don't know. I think we've got a little bit of there's a bit of football, British football, not American football, proper football, British football mentality about us, and we're quite pack-led, aren't we? And then sometimes it's almost like one gangs up on you, and then you've got 5,000 ganging up on you. I think we do have that kind of pack mentality. Like if someone gets out of line, we're all going to give them a slap. It's like, one of your pops or however you want to look at it, get out of line, and then they just got to get punched up for a bit. I think that's just the way. I just think that's the way we are. Bellew's got Fawaz up by 1. And we're going into round number 9 of 12. Sorry if you've just joined us. Where are my manners? I'm Abs of October Red. This is a live watch along, so welcome. Good evening to all of you. Whatever time you're watching this, it could be good night, it could be good morning or afternoon if you're watching this actually now or on playback. We've got Ishmael Davis versus Bilal Fawaz. Started off okay, but then seemed particularly one-paced. I'm struggling to get into this fight. I don't know why. I could be alone here. Maybe it's just the unnecessary showboating. Maybe it's because both of them have started and not necessarily trying to finish anything off. There's too many pauses, too many breaks, it's just missing that oomph. And I just want to see one of them just step on the accelerator and really go at it. Even if you have to burn yourself out and then reset after. But I'm just not getting that energy from this fight. I haven't scored it, so please feel free to put what you think the scores are in the chat. I thought this would have been more exciting But then again, it might just be me. Let's have a look. Oh, it's a good question, Milo. I don't know who the next British star is. I almost feel like all of the promoters, not all of them actually, some of the promoters are going to have to regroup, look at their stable, and really start some really tough strategic marketing campaigns with the fighters that they want to push for stardom. Whether it's putting them in really close fights um, for prospects, but fights that they're going to win, almost have that Mike Tyson strategy with it, where their opponent looks like aesthetically, pleasing, not like the one that Dave Allen's just fought, where it looks like they've got a potential on paper, they're good on paper as well, and really drive the marketing strategy around like potentially the grassroots, potentially the ones that they can or they believe that they can actually push to stardom. So I don't know. I think I want to see how Moses Atauma gets on with Jermaine Franklin. I know that Jermaine Franklin is extremely tough. I know that he's never been stopped. He's a lovely guy. I'm looking forward to speaking with him actually. I want to see what Moses does with him. I get excited about fighters, and that's one of my downfalls. I get excited about fighters, and then it doesn't necessarily go as planned. And then I end up getting my heart broken because I've believed in them probably more than I should have, or I should have probably held my horses or slowed down my pace. So now I just sit from the sidelines, and I may have favorite fighters for personal reasons, but not necessarily now based on what I believe their performances could be. Guys, if you want to tip who you believe is the next star coming out of the UK, please do that. This is what we do in our chat. We have these discussions. We decide amongst ourselves who we think is going to be the next British star. It fluctuates. It could be anybody. I'm watching Moses. Heavyweights are the ones that always seem to be the popular ones. So let's see what happens with him. Oh, you reckon that Davis's tank is starting to empty? It does happen with him. He gets tired later on. This is becoming very, very lackluster. We are in round number 10 of 12. Star Fox, last words on Ben and Matchroom. You can talk about this as much as you want. He hasn't got to be. But it did remind me of the Fight Talk live situation. No warning, only a press conference from Basin saying that the ting done. She gone. Oh, is that what they said? Bless them. Bless them. Terrible with commitment, me. Terrible. Milo goes on to say, Wood wins late stoppage. You think he's going to do it again? I think he's going to do it again. But we'll see how it goes. The fighter development had vanished. All for money, and social media ruins the talent before it blossoms. You know what? I'm going to agree with that. It's almost like you needed the star, and then the social media came after. It's reversed now, and everyone's so focused on social media that it's almost like, okay, so what is your content? What are you capable of doing? How many fighters will put up repeats of last fights or photos of last fights, and they're not fighting often enough for our eyes to be kept on them, and it just seems like social media has taken the front foot, and the skill with some, not all, seems to be pushed onto the back foot. With marketing strategies and for boxers, I do believe that they should have individual teams that are aligned to the promoter. There's me talking about monopolizing stuff, but I think the social media for fighters should be managed by a marketing team. That should come out of, a cut of what their price purse is, that somebody strategically manages their social media, looks at things that they could be targeting, etc., etc. So the fighters can just stay in the gym and focus on that without thinking, oh, I've got to put something on my Instagram page between 6 and 9 p.m. Frank better lock in Moses before Turkey comes calling. Oh dear, Fawaz looks like he's pushing Davis back there. You caught him with a hook as they both dance to the back of the ring. I don't know what round we're in now. Is that the end of round 10? Yeah, I agree with you, but I think Frank is I think he's I think he'd have you locked down into some contract. I think that you'd struggle to get out of. I think with Frank, it seems as if when it comes to their contracts, yeah, I think it'd be difficult. I think he's probably more watertight, Frank. Warren, sorry. So I think that would probably cause more problems. But we'll see. Like I said, the week has only just started. So Mark says that's going to be a good test to see how good Moses is. And I do agree with it. I think that's a really good matchup for where he is. Sometimes I think Moses can't do wrong, can't do right for doing wrong. I think everyone gets onto him. Everyone says, oh, his chin's not been tested. And I did agree with him. I said, well, the idea is for you not to get hit, isn't it? The idea is for your chin not to get checked. What's he supposed to do? Standing there and get battered or win the fight as quickly as possible. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place, and only when he goes in against these seasoned opponents, and you've got to think, Jermaine Franklin's been in with the likes of Anthony Joshua and Dillian White. Both went to points. I'm sure people have views on how one of the fights went, but he's a very good opponent. He's very, very durable, and we're going to see. I think this is a great test. Is Moses going to walk through him? I don't know. I don't think so. I want him to get the rounds in. Let's just see how he gets on. Fawaz is up by 2. Dion goes on to say Fawaz up by 2. It's not a great fight. No, it isn't. It's not a great fight. It's lackluster. If I didn't have my little jelly babies here, which I probably shouldn't be eating anyway, I'll probably be asleep by now. And it's happened in all sports, not just in boxing. Yeah, but I know we focus on that. Oh, I want to tell you guys as well. Audi've entered Formula One. For those of you that don't like Formula One, plug your ears, don't listen. I used to watch Formula One religiously when I was a kid. And about 18 years ago, I stopped watching it. Terrible. Oh, these two going into a bit of a war. It's round 11 of 12. Davis falls on the floor. What's up with him? Why is he struggling to get up? Is he tired? Why is he looking at his corner? Look how heavy he's breathing. Look at how Davis is breathing. Really fast breaths coming in from Davis. I think Fawaz is going to try and capitalize on this now. We've got a minute left in round number 11 and 12. Is this fight going to finally take some flight? Nice hook coming in from Fawaz. He goes in close. Davis looks like he's potentially knackered. Look at his breathing. Listen, Fawaz is just literally circling him like a buzzard, waiting for his prey to drop dead. Davis comes in with a nice hook there to the head of Fawaz, though, and a jab. Basically telling him not to get too comfortable. But Fawaz now is starting to go in with the double jab and keeping his own chin protected, running in forward to Davis. I think he can smell blood, but we've got 10 seconds left in round number 11. Guys, I need to know what you lot have got on the score on this, because I've drifted off completely. Fawaz seems to be putting out greater output of his shots, but we're just about to end round number 11. Yeah, Formula One, 18 years ago. I started watching that. Or something like that. But Audi have entered Formula One. I do like Audi Vorsprung Technique. I like the Volkswagen Group. I drive a Volkswagen Golf myself. I am a fan of the Porsche, the Taycan. I do like, the German cars. I'm a massive fan. Coincidentally enough, they've released their clothing line with Adidas as well. So anyway, by the by, Audi have got into Formula One. So I've been watching, obviously, the test week. They're doing all the aerodynamic stuff. Like I said, if F1's not your thing, shut your ears. And I'm really thinking about starting to talk about Formula One as well. So don't be surprised if I get my head back into it. If I can get my teeth into it, I've been 18 years out. So a lot of homework. The cars have changed drastically. The drivers, the only thing I like about Formula One, a lot of the drivers are still there that were there all that time ago. So I won't mind starting to discuss some bits about Formula One because I love, or I did have that real passion for F1 and rally driving actually, but F1 I used to sit down and watch when I was a kid. Right, Frampton's got Fawaz up as well. So let's see how this last round goes. Are they going to really now start to put the foot on the gas with this round? We can see a little bit more urgency there. I don't know if Davis has, his team has had a chat with him in the corner, but Fawaz is coming forward, relentless, high guard, punching through, literally now prepared to take that risk. He does a little bit of showboating once again. Let's have a look and see if Davis's breathing has slowed down a little bit. Did that 1 minute break help him? There's 2 minutes left now, round number 12 of 12. The jab comes out, backhand comes out, takes the shot, but Fawaz is just like messing around in the ring. I mean, it's all right, but sometimes it's a bit frustrating because you just want to see them fight. There we go. Body shots coming in, more combinations coming in from Fawaz as he throws some nice hooks. Davis throws one back. He's good when he puts the combinations together, Fawaz. Like it's relentless. Remember, if he's standing in front of you and he's unloading on you like that, you're going to know. Davis throws out a jab, misses the head of what seems to be the curls, just leaning onto the forehead of Fawaz. Just over a minute left, round number 12 of 12. I can't even remember if this was like was this a vacant title fight? 1, 2, 3, 4 combinations coming in. Davis drags hold of him, dear life. Fawaz just like hugs him, almost like mocking him. There's blood coming from the lip of Davis. So some of those punches have landed enough to bust the lip of Davis. Another shot goes into the head of Davis, which just looks like he dipped a little bit. Didn't like that shot. I don't know, I think Fawaz might have got this because the output from Davis is a lot slower. Fawaz comes in, almost like he chases him down, then he pauses, lean back, throws a shot. Davis throws his own jab out. He's back into orthodox now as well. Counter coming in from Fawaz. We've got 20 seconds left. When they hear the 10 seconds, what are they going to do? Is it going to be running for the 10 seconds or are they going to go hell for leather? Frampton and Bellew have got Fawaz up. Let's see what the judges say. It's the end now. We've got the 10 seconds. Davis falls onto the floor. Is he weak? Everyone's back Fawaz to get it. Gives him a hug. The face of Davis is bossed up a little bit. Right, Fawaz drained Davis's energy. He's got Davis fatigue, doing bleep tests in the ring, yeah. And it works, though. It seems to be a tactic that works. Tony, the pugilist, good evening to you. Jason, Harry, good evening. And to you, I haven't seen you for ages, Jason. Jason used to pop up in my comments, just like a few of the others did, to be fair. So it's nice to see you guys come back. Tony goes on to say, I'm glad to see Bilal winning this. He's my former stablemate at the All Stars Boxing Club. Oh, wow. So it's a personal win for you then. Right, yeah. Bellew's got Fawaz winning. Milo goes on to say, Conor Benn is a perfect example of modern hype. The minute he steps up, he'll get found out, and then it's rinse and repeat. Oh, I love that. Rinse and repeat. Mark, yeah, can only fight who is there to fight. He he hit hard, so hard to get the rounds in. Yeah, Davis is tired. Tank is empty. If Fawaz didn't troll, he could have stopped him earlier. Yeah, I don't get what that is. Tony Hay again. Davis is losing form. Fawaz is winning now. Big up my stalemate at All Stars Boxing Club. Davis's corner should have pulled him out. Nah, leave him in there. I don't think he needs to get pulled out. I taught Mercedes. I taught Mercedes F1 photographer how to shoot with flashlights for a photo he wanted to make with Lewis Hamilton. Brilliant. I love F1. It was a knockdown. Fair enough. Playing with food is never good. Pretend RJJ. Yeah, yeah. Pretend RJJ are the worst. Yeah, that's all his kids there. There, here we go. Yeah, the zone commentary team did change their tune after round 6. Spot on, Iffy. Let's see what's going to happen then. Guys, how do you think the Chisora Wilder fight's going to go? And I know I did like a YouTube like video on it, but what did you think about Chisora's visit? Not Chisora. Deontay Wilder's visit to the UK. I want your opinion on that as well. I know I did a video on it. A few of you commented, but it'd be interesting to know what you guys think. Oh, here we go. Scores at the doors, ladies and gentlemen. Scores at the doors. Draw on one card. 115, 113. Majority. Fawaz. Fawaz has done it. What's going to happen to Ishmael Davis now? Is that in the bin for him? Congratulations. Look, you know, it's almost he's making up for all of his past that he, you know, all the trials and tribulations that he went through. He's made up for it. Commiserations to Ishmael Davis. Congratulations to Bilal, who is now the British and the Commonwealth, isn't it? Yeah, I'm just trying to look. Yeah. British and Commonwealth champion. So congratulations to him. I want to know how much Iffy Sid won. So Chisora, Tony's saying Chisora takes Wilder into deep waters. Yeah. If I think Chisora is stopping Wilder, defense can't hack that pressure. Yeah. Yeah, you too. Yeah. I'll give you that. I agree with that. Royston Barney Smith for me is the next big one from the UK. Yeah, I do like Royston Barney Smith. What's happened to him? When's the last time he fought? Nice kid as well. Muscle bands. I did mention that earlier about the muscles. I did say that it starts to eat up all of your oxygen. Yeah, the engine. I told Davis he was losing on X and he disagreed with me. Iffy, you causing problems on X? He clawed it back. Yeah, it was a little bit, like I said, it wasn't the most exciting fight that we saw, but he won. He was relentless. And let's see what he's got to say. Big Derek probably round 8 to 9. Well, Wilder's back with his, is it that Nate, what's his name? Diaz. J Diaz? Is it, oh, I can't remember. I'm probably making up names. Do you remember his original trainer that he was with? Obviously not Mark Breland. Unfortunately, he's not with Mark Breland, but yeah, he's back. Is it J Diaz? So yeah, he's back with him. So let us see. Wilder. I don't know if Wilder's the same. JD's. Sorry. I was close. So yeah. I'm ready. I want it all. And this is just the beginning. Words from Bilal Fawaz as he has the 2 belts and he's interviewed in the ring with Charlie Parsons. So what if he's saying Eddie always looks cringed out by Fawaz showing appreciation? Bless him. He's probably still traumatized by what's happened. I think Wild 68 DG says I think Wilder inside 3 or Chisora if it goes after. Interesting. Lol, my Jamaican work colleague once said, I have a gulp mouth. I looked it up and I agree. I see things sometimes. It's funny. I still think Huey Fury will get his chance and end up at the top. Do you? I don't know. His career's been like so like stop, start. You know, and I've seen him. You know, I've been in the gym, seen him spar. He's really good. Sometimes that doesn't translate on the night. Sometimes I guess depending on your opponent, whatever it is. But yeah, I have been around Huey Fury quite a bit because obviously his dad. They come down to Birmingham and they get sparring done there. It's usually him, Gradus Kraus, Matty Harris, and young James Dean as well, which I believe is the grandnephew of Peter Fury. So I've been around Huey. I know what he's capable of. When he switched on, yeah, proper good fighter. Don't know, will he get to the top? I don't know. He's so young, but he turned over really early. That's the thing about Huey that even I didn't realize he actually turned over extremely young. So I think he's probably just touched 30 or 31. It feels like he's been boxing for like 15 years. Darren says, I'm happy for Xavier Miller. Yep, good win for him. Yeah, so congratulations to all of them. That guy says Derek should get Breland. Oh my God. I've heard, and you know what? I don't even know if it's true. What if Derek goes back to Don Charles again for like the 800th time? So we'll see. We shall see. Hearn acts unfamiliar with Fawaz once his antics resonate. Probably because he just makes him feel uncomfortable and he doesn't know how to take him in it. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything because I'm not going to get myself into trouble on my channel band. So sometimes some people just make you feel really uncomfortable and you're not too sure. Look, let's see if he runs off. He backs off. Django is just backed off. Backed off smiling, but he's backed away. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who Derek Chisora has in his corner. I thought it was all brilliant the way that this fight led up to whatever. Is Derek Chisora still going to be with Frank Warren after this? Is this potentially his last fight? Oh yeah, Goodwin. He's been one of the managers that's been a lot of the smaller hall fighters. Is it Steve Goodwin? I can't remember his name. Oh, here we go. He's doing his sermon speech now. Eddie's out the ring, says, yeah, forget this. But you know what? It will buy some time for the main event. Oh, bless. Xavier Miller gets his shout out as well. Everyone wears the T-shirts with, you know, Riyadh season on it. Anyway, what was I saying? Right, Milo says all Huey needs is a chance against someone who gets him going. And I guess, yeah, sometimes it can be that. A lot of fight, you know, you've probably listened to the interviews. I've done the interviews when sometimes the fighters are like, if that person just doesn't get me up for it, my performance can reflect on that. When I'm usually thinking, okay, every fight you've got to have that mindset that you're going into a world title fight. It doesn't matter who you're fighting. You've got to have that hunger. You've got to have that drive. But maybe doing that all the time is exhausting for the fighters. I don't know. Right. Chris says Davis once again turning up midway is no good. That's been his downfall in previous fights. And Fawaz wasn't the favorite once again and wins again. He's a tricky fighter. Yeah, he is. I think he just wore him out. It did make Davis miss a lot of the shots because he was slippery. And like I said, when you've got those muscles and all that oxygen is being eaten up and you're missing shots. It takes it out of you because you're just exhausted. You're hitting air. So, and you saw the way he was breathing. I think there's a couple of times he was down. I can't say if they were a knockdown or not. I think a couple of you guys in the chat said it was a knockdown, but I think I sort of like lost interest after a bit. Sorry, guys. I needed some some buzz. Do you know what I mean? You just had Sandy Ryan going at it with her opponent, Tia with hers, Leo Atang, with Garba. Fair enough, it might have been a bit premature, but it was action from the get go. It does this. You have these fights when they're brilliant, and then a fight will come on after and it's slightly slower paced, and then you just start nodding off. Huey Fury's been through a lot in recently times. Yeah, recent years. It just needs better matchmaking, perfect matchmaking. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I've got a lot of time for them lot. They've always been good to me, and like I said, I that's what I thrive on. If you're cool with me, you've got me for life. If you cross me, then forget it. I don't care who you are. So yeah, I wish him all the best. I don't know when he's fighting again. GBM seems to have gone under the radar a little bit. I don't know when they're. Forgive me if GBM I've got a fight coming up and I've just like missed it because I've been so linked into everything else and other bits and bobs that are going on. So we'll see. But to be fair, Eddie has got some, and Queensbury boxer. I think their next card is it Wales. Let me just have a look on the old social media. See if we can find out the schedules. Let me just have a look. Because Matchroom's announced a couple of cards. I'm really looking forward to Callum Smith, David Morrell Jr. fight in Liverpool. Really looking forward to that fight. A great fight. And that's coming up. Let's have a look. Can't remember when that fight actually is. Is it May or April? So they've got that fight coming up. Definitely a good one. I wish they'd have all their schedules pinned at the top so you could see all the different fights that are happening. I'm really looking forward to seeing Jordan Thompson back out as well. I'm trying to find the card that he's on. There we go. Planet Ice in Attringham. So that's like Manchester sides, isn't it? So that's going to be a good fight as well. We've got Pat Brown versus Dukar. Obviously, that fight there is going to be a good fight, I think, for Pat Brown, because sometimes I think Pat leaves himself open, and Dukar will like that very much because that's how he caught Jordan when they fought at cruiserweight. So Jordan's back out as a heavyweight, so that'll be good. You've got the twins debuting. Eddie signed a couple of twins. Really good to see that. I think you've got Taylor Bevan on there. You've got Howarth on there. You've got Crawler on there. So that should be a good card. Cheeky little card, actually. Planet Ice. Lidard Denny. That's going to be a really good fight. You got Sains on there. You think he's versus Osaze? Is it Osaze? He's going to be on there. Tyler Denny and Lidard. That's going to be a really, really good fight. Do not sleep on that fight. I do not anticipate for 1 minute that is going to be a boring fight. So both of them, to be fair, have got some good entertainment, good names, good cards coming out. Just waiting to hear what's happening with Boxer. I'm sure Lauren Price is out. I can't remember the actual date for that. And like I said, Queensbury's got some bits and bobs coming through as well. Let's have a look. I think Woods by KO stoppage, rinse and repeat. Yeah, they've got to pack it in after this. I've not heard anything from GBM. Are they even still on DAZN? That's okay. So it's not me then. Sometimes I think I might just switch off from certain things, but usually their stuff comes up. It's almost like when they passed over Gradus Kraus to Boxer, who's one of Peter Fury's fighters. It was almost like it just stopped. Don't know. We'll see. Don't know if they're on DAZN. Don't know if they're still doing anything. So Chris is saying he's a nightmare fighter, so awkward, brilliant performance though, a very underrated fighter, massive inspiration with his story. Yeah, it's true. I know you're talking about Fawaz. Not everyone's got such a like wild story like he has. I remember years ago. I'm on about 5 years ago. Somebody told me about him, and they said I just started up, so I was like, doing all my online stuff. Oh, DMing fighters saying, "Oh, can you do a Zoom online interview with me, please? I'm just setting up my channel. I'm October Red, all of that stuff." And Xavier Miller came on, so shout out to him. Gerald Washington came on, shout out to him. Daily Perales came on, shout out to him. But there was a lot of people that I was messaging that just didn't like blank messages, and Bilal Fawaz was one of them. I had his his number, and I messaged him like the same thing. And I says, "Oh, come on the channel," and I got blanked. It happened, and there's a lot of fighters that done it, but I'll never forget that. Never. I was like, okay, fair enough. But to be fair, he could have had some stuff going on. But as you know, my style, it hasn't really changed that much from the beginning. I'm always interested in a backstory on the fighters. So I would have definitely have delved into that should he have been comfortable enough to talk about it. But here we are. Look at the guys at the front. We've got Tony Bellew and Carl Frampton. Oh, right, yeah, because Parsons has been doing the in the ring interviews. So Jamie has taken the place of Ade, who I think is out in America. Davis should never try and outbox experienced boxers. He's made that mistake twice now. The last time he got stopped, and now he's just lost. He should trust his power and just go for the stoppage. Yeah, I did see hesitation when really he probably could have gone in there, but he tired himself out. We all saw that he was tired. He was more tired than me watching it. We'll see what happens with him. We'll see. Like I said, he was always one of them that was coming in for the short notice fights. Did he take too many fights too soon? He's made a bit of money. I take it he's been paid, sufficient for the fights that he's had. I think he's been on one Riyadh season card as well. Obviously, they're going to pay a substantial amount more than, his usual card. So, yeah, it's one of them. He's still young. He hasn't got to walk off into the sunset. He's still got loads in him, still can learn and still can come back. He's just got to work on potentially loading up. Obviously, his engine, he's probably naturally physically built like that. What's his cardio like? Does he do his crazy road runs for endurance, hill sprints, those things that get you out of breath, and you got to get your heart rate back down to a certain level to obviously mimic the rounds that you do when you do those hill sprints for 3 minutes or however long, 4 minutes, and give yourself that minute to recover. All of those things do actually help. We know that he's got power. We know that he can be explosive, but you've got to have the engine as well for boxing. So we will see what happens. Let me see if I can find. I'm going to have a look and see Frank Warren's lineup. I know I said they've got Derby next week, which completely just went straight over my head. Don't know what's wrong with me there. Oh, obviously we've got, oh yes, of course. We've got Dickens versus Kakachi and Pierce O'Leary versus Mark Chamberlain as well. St. Patrick's Day weekend, March the 14th, which is at the 3 Arena in Dublin. There's that fight. I forgot about that. And I'm sure young Corey Gibbs is on that fight as well. I'm going to try and get down to Tyler Denny's gym over in Wednesbury, as Corey Gibbs is now training out of that gym, to try and catch up with him, because obviously he's left Max McCracken, who's over at Acots Green, and he's gone to Errol Johnson, Paul Mann over in Wednesbury. So here we go. Saturday, February the 28th. That's the next one coming. Derby. And we've got McCormack Gardner Bale Cartwright and Cooper versus Ursu. So that's the fight that's next week, just down the road in Derby. Like I said, I'll try to get to that one. Potentially it'll be a watch along. Potentially it could be a weekend off. And Nathaniel Collins and versus Laurenti 2. And that's in Scotland. I definitely won't be going to that. Royston Barney Smith, like one of you guys mentioned. Got Brown versus Gilly. Oh, we've got Nico Levers as well. So he's obviously okay. So Nico Levers was a matchroom fighter. So he's maybe gone to Queensbury. Interesting. I like Nico Levers. So yep, so that's up in Scotland. Definitely won't be going to that one. Obviously, we've got the massive one that's coming up as well. Wardley Dubois in Manchester. Just so perfect for me. Manchester's like an hour and a half away from Birmingham. Absolutely amazing. Called Don't Blink. Really looking forward to that fight. It should be a scorcher. Hopefully they put some good heavyweights on that card. Potentially have that as a heavyweight card like they like to do. Or majority, the top end heavyweights. They've got enough of them to go around. So I'm looking forward to that. I think I'm going to go for Wardley on this. I like to back Wardley, but I don't want to back him because I don't usually back him. I want to back him because I know he's going to win. I don't want to back him because it's like he finds a way to win. I want to back him because it's like, yeah, he can win, if that makes sense. So that's another good card that's coming up. Really looking forward to that. And then obviously we've got the postponed fight, like I said, with Moses Itauma. Oh, yeah, the Magnificent Seven. Yep. So they've added Denny's on there. They've added Gomez Jr. on there as well versus Flynn, Jordan Flynn. They've changed up some names on there. So interesting. So we'll see how that goes. So, yeah, the Magnificent Seven, Moses Itauma on that card, versus Jermaine Franklin. Another really good fight that's on there as well. That's going under the radar a bit. Is Willie Hutchinson versus Ezra Taylor, a light heavyweight fight. We know what Willie Hutchinson is capable of. We see that Ezra Taylor's been a hungry fighter that's waited his turn for a while now. And it seems as if he could get it on that night. I'm going to back Ezra to get that win. And there's some solid fights on that card. March the 28th. More than likely, I'll be going to that one because, like I said, it's Manchester. It's down the road. But, ladies and gentlemen, it is main event time. We are finally here. I've been streaming just under 2 hours. It feels like I've been going longer than that. But is this going to be the finale, or are they going to fight again in another 2 or 3 years? Excuse me. We have got, is it repeat or revenge? Wood versus Warrington. Some of you guys have said rinse and repeat, but yeah. And I know it'll be packed with these guys because they travel. They bring a lot of football fans with them, which is brilliant for boxing. We saw that recently with Ajit Kabayel as well. We know what that can do. Wow, Lee Wood comes out in sunglasses. Like it. Oh, no, I definitely won't sleep on Hutchinson. I know what he's capable of, Dazza. I promise you. But I'm going to back Ezra to do the job. I don't mind being wrong, though. Because I was so happy when Joshua Boatsi gave him a good hiding. So, yeah, I'm going to go for Ezra to do. Probably won't be able to do the same that Joshua did because Joshua is quite clinical in his approach. And I wonder what's going to happen with him, actually, after the fight that he had. I wonder when he's going to be back out again. Because obviously Benavidez has gone up to cruiserweight to fight Zerdo, hasn't he? Zerdo Ramirez. You know, I'd have nightmares about jumping over that rope and then I'd just fall onto my face. There he is with Ben Davison. I saw Bazza as well. Bazza was at the hotel the other day. I waited around at the hotel because the weigh-in was so late in the evening. That's for the undercard for this. But it's weigh-in day and nobody really wants to talk to you on weigh-in day because they're hungry They want the food. And obviously, it is weighing day. When it's heavyweights, you can get away with it because weighing day is not that strict for them. But for the other fighters, it was like, oh, I need some food, etc., etc. So I didn't get to speak to any of the fighters off this card, which is weird. So I really wanted to speak to Leo Atang, Tia Ayton, Molly McCann, Dave Allen, Bobby Lee Wood. But I am happy that I did get to speak to Jamie Moore and Carl Frampton. Those were gold. Sold out multi-point arena in Nottingham. That M42 and all its potholes, the most horrific road to drive on. And then when you get into Nottingham, there's even more potholes. Sometimes I just actually wonder what we're paying our road tax for. I've got low profile. I've got 19s on my car, low profiles with alloys. Nice, obviously, alloys. And I didn't curb them. It's potholes that have been causing my alloys problems. And then it causes your tires problems. And you have to get the alloys refurbished. And I, like many other road users, pay road tax. For what? Anyway, rant over. Maybe I should just get a pedal bike. So the judges are Victor Loughlin, Kieran McCann, and Kevin Parker. So we've got 1 Scots and 2 English. Mark Bates is the referee. I always say hello to these guys, you know. Listen, my driving is very good. I'll have you know, Christopher Anthony, 6412. It's the potholes. Potholes are horrific. Drive around Birmingham. I don't know where you live. Birmingham, Nottingham, Manchester, potholes galore. We don't like potholes. Not when you've got 19s or 20s on your car. Terrible. The fight starts now. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The fight that you've all been waiting for. Is it going to be revenge or repeat? A good fight it was last time. Enjoyable fight. It looks like, oh, there Pops is there with him in the corner, the Warrington corner. Dad is there with him, taking the robe off his son, getting ready to try and get revenge. Will that happen? All the gloves are stuck on the robe. Let's get him out. He looks in good shape. He doesn't look like drained or anything. He looks in good shape. I've spoke to I'm sure I've spoke to Warrington's dad just in passing in one of the hotels. Jason, I don't like small alloys. Sorry. The bigger the better when it comes to alloys. You know what car I was looking at the other day talking about cars? That electronic Audi Q4. It looks nice actually, but it's all electric. I'm a bit Skynet about those cars. I don't want the car like, I don't know, driving me somewhere I don't want to go or driving me off a cliff or whatever because it's been programmed to. I don't know. I'm a bit weird. I'm a bit of a tinfoil hat wearer when it comes to the electric cars. But it did look nice. Out of the electric cars, the Taycan and the Audi Q4 are nice looking cars. And to be fair, the Taycan, you wouldn't think that it was an electric car anyway. Really nice. I do like Porsche. I'm a fan, like I said, German engineering. Absolutely love it. And I'd feel more comfortable wearing my Adidas in a German car. AP, he is back. I like seeing the old faces back. Right. The fighters go back. Oh, that is packed in there. Multi-point arenas absolutely jammed. And I've been in there when it's not been so packed. That is rammed in there. Excellent. Ticket sales. And these are these nostalgic fights, aren't they? So let's have a look. Round number 1. High guard coming in. A fast start from both of the guys. Just what we wanted to see. High guard there from Warrington. Woods is in southpaw stance, goes in. straight away, throwing the jab, the backhand. A little bit tentative to start with because obviously he's got to be mindful of counters, and the 1-2 in the body came back from Wood from Warrington there. But we've got Lee Wood on the front foot, southpaw stance, just throwing out his 1-2. Seems like there's more of an aggressive, targeted approach from Warrington. I like this. On the back foot at the moment, the 1-2 coming in from Wood. We know what Wood is like. Wood just needs to find that one punch. We've seen what he's done to fighters before. We know that he's powerful. I think there was some jokes at the press conference about Warrington with his signature headbutts as he throws a 1-2-3 and just misses the 3 on the head of Wood. Nice work though from Warrington. The 2 W's, Wood and Warrington. I never liked that perm though from Wood. I have took the mick out of him. He's a lovely guy as well. I've spoken to him loads of times off camera. I can never seem to get him down for a full conversation on camera. Lovely guy. Nice work. Hands low, go into the body, go into the head. Really long levers there of Wood. Maybe I should have got the tape measure out and asked him what his reach was. Nice feint in there with the feet from Wood as Warrington comes in. Both men in the clinch, and the ref separates the 2. 1-2-3 coming in from Wood, and Warrington charges after him. You know what? It's the 2 names with the W's. Jab, jab, backhand from Wood. Warrington once again lunges into him, and the ref has to come in and separate the 2. Already, we've only got 48 seconds left of round number 1. I think the ref wants to separate him because he knows like potentially this could be a lot of heads. I like this. Warrington's going at it in the clinch. This is what we want to see. This is what I've been waiting for all night. They might be clinching, but they're going at it. They want to fight, and it looks like Warrington actually wants to take Wood's head off. Right, the feint coming out from Wood. There's he goes in to throw the backhand, sort of a sweeping motion from the backhand of Wood. The feint, and then the jab with the backhand. That up-down body movement. 1-2, good work. Round number 1 finished. A good finish from Wood. Wood. I'm going to give that round to Wood. I think I am. I'll try and do this. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm going to blame the potholes. London, you've got potholes, I bet you have. To be fair, every time I go down to London, I don't drive, do I? I'm always on your underground, your public transport in London, so I don't know about potholes. I know that you can't drive anywhere. You get like £150 fine, so yeah, Ubers are really expensive. The underground is very, very good for transport in London, so I don't drive. Anytime I go to London, I'm not driving. Check me with my 19s, bless. AP, evening, 19 rims, nice. Hey, Iffy, what size rims have you got on your mobility car? Self-driven car might miss the potholes though, Red. Listen, when they're all over the place, I can't exactly get my phone out and start taking pictures of them when I'm driving. And I haven't got that ratty dash cam in the car because I'm not recording while I'm driving. But they were all over the place. I was literally weaving in and out, trying to avoid these potholes in Nottingham the other day. Horrific. And that's not including the M42. You have to stay in the right-hand lane on the M42. Otherwise, you're going to write your car off. Well, damage your alloys if you're in the left-hand lane. Horrific. Anyway, here we go. Back to boxing, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look. It's sort of like Wood is feinting there. Just tapping out that jab hand so he can get in on the inside. Warrington not having it. Nice jab to the body from Wood there as Warrington came in with his sweeping hooks. 1-2. Oh, that was a head clash. I think I saw a head clash there. Let's have a look. Look, it's almost like Warrington's tensing up a bit. Just tensing up a bit as he throws out the shot. You can really see that he wants to cause some damage. He's not there for a boxing match. This is an actual fight. Albeit Warrington is fighting, don't get me wrong. But look at that. Sweeping. Missing the shots. Where's that blood coming from? Is that the nose of is he splattered Woods' nose? Or was that from a headshot? It was that headshots. Was that a clash from heads? But the nose of Wood looks like it's been splattered. And we've got 1 minute 13 left in round number 2 of 12. As once again, Wood just flicks out the jab, but you can see Warrington just wants to come in and attack him. 1-2 coming in from Warrington as he guards up. Wide stance, looking in not to go in on the attack. You can see where the blood is, and that sweeping hook of his that he throws, orthodox hook with the left hand. Oh, beautiful backhand shot there from Warrington to the face of Wood that just pushed him right back there. 1-2. This is the work coming in from Warrington. Put Wood on the back foot. Warrington comes in with this high guard and he's just throwing that hook and he can't seem to miss it. High guard. Wood's got his hands down. Warrington's got his guard up. The clappers are going. Yeah, round over. No, I didn't score that round now. Oh. Electric is nice. The torque and takeoff is mega. Yeah, it would be because it's all electric, isn't it? But I am a fan of the combustion engine. But I had a look at the car because the scare with the electric cars is that the battery is really expensive. So I had a look, and for the spec of the car, I'm not saying that this is cheap, but remember I'm hearing, oh, it's going to cost you 20 grand if the electric battery goes in that car. That's why the car prices have dropped. But I found like brand new for the spec, and which is a good spec as well in the Q4. It's not a basic one. It's about 7 grand for a battery, which is better than 20. So yeah, the torque would be, because it's just instant power, isn't it? The electric instant power as it pushes through gravity. Right, here we go. Round number 3 of 12. Once again, it's like Warrington starts off that high guard, throws out the backhand first, and then the hook, the sweeping hook that seems to be landing every time on the face of Wood, as Wood just throws in like a cheeky uppercut from distance as he moves back. As he flicks out the jab, once again, the uppercut comes in. Warrington goes in for the attack once again. I like the attack. I do like what he's doing. Hold on, are they both switching to southpaw now? Well, I've lost the plot on who's which stance. Maybe should have done those stats before I started the live. Lee Wood has got that power at the end of his punches as well. We do know that because we've seen it before. Long levers. What's he done? Right, here we go. Here we go. Wood's got his hands down, throwing that 1-2, the hit to the body, just stepping out, ready for the counter that's going to come in from Warrington. So some of the occasions, Warrington is actually missing the shot as he lunges forward. But that's what you can see, what he wants to do. That high guard, and he just wants to get in there and attack. And that is what we can see here. And that's his tactic. And potentially, if he can pin Wood down, it will work. Warrington being the shorter fighter, careful on the back of the head. Yeah, okay. But even though that wasn't intentional. There we go. Wood goes in, southpaw stance, flicking that jab out to go into land. The backhand. Once again, I said the hands are low. He flicks up that backhand quite quickly though. Wood comes in, Warrington comes in, sweeping with the hook. Nice hook there, landed from Wood on the cheek of Warrington there. Once again, another hook that just makes Warrington just wobble a little bit. Guys, you're going to have to keep hold of the scores now because we've got 43 seconds into round number 3 of 12. Wood is very confident to keep those hands down. So relaxed. That cheeky uppercut he does, and then he follows up with the hook. Nice work there from Wood. But then Warrington comes back with his own shot. It's like this overhand, isn't it, that lands? Wood lunges in and throws a combination to the head of Warrington. 1-2 from Wood. Backhand from Wood in the southpaw stance. Both men in the clinch. Right, round number 2 over. Hitchinson and Duarte fight is off. Why? What happened? Yeah, Bon Scott never trusting those electric cars. Too many fires. Yeah, to be fair, you do see them on fire on the motorway, and I have seen quite a few of them, and they're hard to extinguish. Yeah, that you just have to let them burn out, apparently. Dion says, I don't watch much British boxing, mainly American. I just looked at Bilal Fawaz backstory. Nothing but the utmost hope that he gets everything he deserves. That's really positive. And Dion, if you're from abroad, then welcome to you. Yeah, London is one big pothole. Horrible place. It's all right to visit. Metalbox J, I take it, is a Warrington fan. Come on, Josh. Shouted out Yorkshire there in the capital letters. James says, so happy for Fawaz. And Wood is baiting him. That's from Iffy. Warrington is looking dangerous, but Wood has that 1-2 stoppage power. Yes, he does. He does. But Warrington knows this. But his plan is not doing too bad. But we know that Wood can be behind on the cards. We've seen this before. And then just get the stoppage. Yeah. And yeah, there you go. Warrington is going for the stoppage. Hitchins fight cancelled due to illness. Okay. I think he might need to move up. Fair enough. Fair enough. C'est la vie. Right, let's have a look at the stats. Okay, Wood's throwing more shots. What's the percentages? Total punches landed, 30 from Wood, 20 from... Why do they put those stats away so quickly? Obviously, Wood's landing more of the punches. He's thrown more of the punches as well. That Wood's just confident there with those low hands, continuously feinting before he obviously throws his combinations, which is the 1-2 and the 1-2-3. Both guys in the clinch once again. I hope Wood doesn't exert himself. Warrington doesn't exert himself because he's, but you know what? To be fair, Warrington's always boxed like that. He does. It's almost like he's tense. He's got these high shoulders. That's how he fights. He wants to maul you like a pit bull, like a dog. He just wants to get you and corner you and just beat the crap out of you. That is what he wants to do. But Wood can, with those levers, Wood can go in and out quite comfortably. And like I said, he's got the power that sits at the end of those levers, the power that sits at the end of the punches, and we've seen what he can do with that. I was there when he boxed Mick Conlon, like absolutely like what? And that place was full, and it was almost like you could have heard a pin drop in there at the end of that fight. That was something else. I don't know how many years ago that was, maybe about 4 years ago. So, guys, if you've just joined us, I'm Abs of October Red. I must always remember my manners. It's our live watch along this evening, Wood versus Warrington 2. I think we'll be just going over a couple of hours. Could you do the usual bits, like, subscribe, share, etc., etc. In fact, let me see if this is streaming on X, because it should be streaming on both. Yeah, it does say it's live, but it's not showing. Yeah, it's not showing that it's live on X. I thought there was something up with it because I had a message saying that StreamYard's having problems linking the stream to X. So I think all of my traffic is coming through YouTube because I usually get a lot more traffic coming through X. So if you've just joined us, welcome. I think we're going into round number either 4 or 5 at the moment. Right. Warren Frampton said he's got Wood 4 rounds up. He's got him winning all of the rounds. I just want to hear what Tony Bellew has got to say. Green Eyes, salute to you as well from Birmingham. Shout out to the Scousers. Lovely people. Get on with them really, really well. Friendly. I've been to lots of places in the UK, and I'll say that the Scousers are really friendly and welcoming. I think Manchester and Birmingham are quite similar. I think we're both quite aggy. So I think sometimes you probably say that Birmingham and Manchester clash. Great people, but I think we're very similar. That's a beautiful uppercut that Woods is catching Warrington with there. But shout out to the Scousers and shout out to those from Yorkshire as well. Yeah, so Frampton's got Wood winning this fight. It's mad that they were so early on with the fights, and now it's almost 10:30. I think they're doing the press conference from this. It's scheduled for approximately 11 p.m. for this press conference, post-fight press conference. Used to enjoy going to those when you could ask the questions. Yeah, the thing is with Lee, beautiful work. I was about to say Wood looked so comfortable, so confident, and then he just lunges with these punches coming from such a range. And let's go a beautiful combination on Warrington. And Warrington throws a beautiful backhand that pushes Wood back. But the counter's coming back in from Wood. Better work from both of them. Nice. Wood there once again. He throws out the feint before he sets up his shot. Both guys. 1, 2, 3. Good work. That is from Wood as he goes in to the body. I think they've stopped the bleeding on that nose now. Nice head movement there from Warrington as he comes forward. He bobs, he weaves, he comes forward. But Wood just manages to throw the shots straight through the middle onto the head of Warrington. Oh, no, it looks like Wood's got some swelling under his left eye? The same place that he had the bleed from the nose, to be fair. Let's have a look. Warrington looks like he's getting a little bit frustrated as that overhand right. He's not landing the way that it wants to land. Once again, Lee Wood, I'll paint the picture for you. You've got Wood that's there. He's feinting. He's going up and down to the body. Not really using his jab hand, just using his jab hand to potentially feint to set up the backhand that's going to follow it. Saying that he's just landed a measuring double jab on the face of Wood, and then he goes in with the backhand and then a double hook. Wood comes back with his own, where he tries to set up an attempt, a flurry of shots in the body of Wood, but he doesn't make it because Wood literally just grabs him in for the clinch. We are in round number 5 of 12, and we've got just over 10 seconds left of this round. Yeah, both guys in the clinch. The bell's going to go. Yeah, Dion says, I can see Warrington walking onto something. Wood is boxing well. Yeah, really composed and controlled with his shots. Oh, that's brilliant. Carl Froch is there, Nottingham lad himself. So that's good to see. Django, let's go, Lee Wood. Just stop leaving that chin in the air when you retreat. Something he does. Bang. Oh, that was okay. That was on the gloves. That was behind the gloves. Good work there. But you see that where he sort of like hesitated, and he probably could have thrown the jab. Then Wood comes back in with that superb overhand. Look at that from Warrington. Yeah. Just see the eyes just roll back slightly. Imagine how quick you've got to reset. You know, when they play it back in slow motion, you think, oh, that uppercut was sweet, followed by a hook. There's some good work going in here from Wood. As he starts off, once again, the feint, the flick, the feint, the flick, backhand. Both guys in for the clinch. This is our round number 6 of 12 has started. Once again, the hands down. He goes into the body with the backhand, feinting with that lead hand, just almost keeping that jab hand there, just as a sort of a barrier between him and Warrington. Once again, he's using that jab hand as a feint. Wood just catches him with a jab as he does the same thing. Warrington catches him with a jab as Wood tries to push that feint out to throw the backhand. Those long levers that Wood's got, it really does work. But when Warrington does get inside, he does create an impact. The jab there lands on the chin of Wood. Backhand comes in from Wood. Backhand once again from Wood. Overhand comes in from Warrington, just skimming the face of Wood as he gets out of the way. Didn't realise how long his levers were, to be fair. That uppercut, he just doesn't miss with that. And this is the work coming in from Wood. We are, halfway through round number 6 of 12. It's like as soon as Warrington tries to come in to let his shots go, it's like he just clinches him. It's like he's baiting him to come in. And as soon as he comes in, he'll just clinch him. He's not letting Warrington get any of his shots off. Have a look. You can see what I'm trying to say to you. Look at the feint. Look at the feint. Everything is from a distance. Woods has managed to get his shots off, his combinations. He resets. Woods, you can see, he's trying to come in. He's trying to find a way in. He's bobbing, he's weaving, he's keeping his guard up. Wood is catching him with something coming in. Warrington lunges, throwing the combinations. Wood managed to evade him so he doesn't get stuck on the ropes. To be fair, he did that without the clinch this time. The levers used from Wood to just push Warrington back onto the ropes, forcing him to just drop the gloves for a bit and take a little bit of a breather. Some reddening on the nose now of Warrington. Seems as if some of those punches are coming through. That was a quick round. Let's go, Lee Wood. Stop leaving the chin in the air. Technique. October, you're doing. Oh, I'm not really good after midnight. I'm so sorry. Because I get up at like 5 a.m. in the morning and I'm training at the moment. Like now, I'd be like curled up in bed asleep. So no, I can't do the late night stuff. I'm too old for that. I'll let the young ones do that. I'd love to. I like the American fights. I've started to like watch them the day after, but it's pointless me staying up. So I'm sure there's plenty of channels that will be doing watch-alongs for that, but you're gonna have to count me out. Here we go. Skyline, said October doesn't do the late night fight. See, my subscribers know me. Dion, I am from London. I only watch the British big fights these days. Watching your podcast for the first time and loving the knowledge. Thank you very, very much. I just presumed that you was from another country. So yeah, been here for a little bit. Warrington, 68 DG saying Warrington won't last the distance. Let's have a look. What's belly you got? Wood up as well. They're both green on the cards. Yeah, I like, to be fair, that Wood's style for this has been fine. Chin in the air or not, he's managing to get his shots off. Like I said, he's smothering any work when like Warrington like lunges at him. He's either able to get out of the way with the movement or he's literally just smothering his work, getting him into a clinch. And look, he's just literally beating the head at will of Warrington at the moment. Once again, the ref was attempting to potentially get in between the two as there was a clinch once again. So Warrington he keeps his hand down and he's flicking the shots up. Warrington's trying to get inside, but even the size, even it looks like there's a massive size difference. I'm not talking about height. Wood just looks a lot bigger than Warrington. Looks like there's a bit of a size difference. I always get intrigued to think, what do fighters actually weigh? Can you imagine if they just got on the scales just as a courtesy things, what they actually weigh before they get in the ring? I'm always fascinated to see that, but it won't happen. But like I said, I think Warrington is struggling to get in. Don't get me wrong, he's got some shots off when he has. That was earlier in the fight, but we are now in round number 7 of 12, and it just seems like Wood is really confident with the distance. He's got that lateral movement. He's moving around to the right and the left, not staying static for Wood to potentially, try and cut the ring off. He's not cutting the ring off, is he? So Wood is moving freely around, and even though he's on the back foot, he's dictating the pace and the movement of the fight, because you've got Warrington that's just trying to hunt him down, to pin him down, not necessarily trying to cut the ring off so he can get to him that way. He's just hunting him, if that makes sense. A bit of a combination there from Wood, and Warrington had some answers, but Wood is able to just keep that distance, keep it comfortable, using the feints with the lead hand, and then obviously taking the opportunities with the backhand. Good work there by Warrington, though. He looks like he's trying to get in, and then once again, like I said, if Warrington does try to make any progress, you'll get Wood getting him into the clinch, which is basically just smothering any work that he's trying to do. I'd say that's technical. Yeah, I agree. I just caught the back end of what Adam Smith said. It might be the first time I've actually agreed with something that he said, and it's about the corner. They are, relaxed. They are comfortable. And you can see that by the style that Wood is boxing. It's almost like he prepared for something else, but what he's getting is not quite as good as he prepared for, so he can afford not necessarily to not box as he should be, but he's able to like just dictate the pace, because Warrington just can't seem to get to him, so he can fight more of a relaxed fight, if that makes sense. Once again, we've got Wood. He's got that high guard in the center of the ring. Instead of, like I said, trying to cut the ring off, you've got Wood that is dictating the pace of this fight from the back foot, throwing the majority of the punches, hitting first, really important, hitting first and hitting last. So when the judges see what you're doing, they're giving you the points. Who looks more attractive to the eye? I'd definitely say that Wood is definitely throwing more shots, landing more shots. And once again, Warrington comes in and it ends in a clinch. Work is being smothered. Anything could still happen. We are in round number 8 of 12. The first minute has gone. But like I said, Warrington's got this high guard. He's looking to just charge. Is this him fighting with emotion? Is there a tactic to what he's doing? Because it does it. What was his game plan? Is it just to tuck up and like just try and knock him out? What did they discuss? He's going to know what Lee Wood is like. He knows the distance. He knows what he's got. So when they went away, like they said, it's been 2 years between the last time that they fought. What did he plan for? What did he prepare for? It looks like Lee has potentially over-prepared in a good way, but he's too comfortable with what Warrington is doing. But things are subject to change. And as I say that, both guys back in the clinch once again. Backhand comes in from Warrington. Wood follows it with a counter hook to the left side of Warrington's head. Follows up with another one. Warrington tries to throw the backhand again. This time Warrington goes in for the clinch, pushing Wood back, and the ref separates the two. Got 40 seconds left in round number 8 of 12. I do feel like it's, slightly one-sided. Please let me know what you think in the comments. But Warrington just doesn't seem as if he can make any real progress. Both of the guys fighting in the clinch, and the ref has to come in and separate them once again. 20 seconds left in round number 8 of 12. And if you've just joined us, I'm Abs of October Red, and this is a live watch along for Wood versus Warrington 2. We'll say at the moment it is looking like rinse and repeat. We are seeing that Woods is definitely thinking about what he's doing in there. I don't know if what I believe it looks like Warrington's fighting through emotion and not necessarily a plan. Maybe I should have listened to what his team said in the week leading up with his father was interviewed any of his team to like think what was your actual plan going into this fight? What did you plan to do to Lee Wood? Because it looks like he's just toying with him at the moment. Oh yeah, just looking at it, everything boxing's just put it up. Breaking Hitchinson Duarte cancelled. Richardson Hitchins, Oscar Duarte, IBF super lightweight title fight is off tonight due to illness suffered by Hitchins. Interesting. Michaela Mayers just retweeted the design one. Missed this, but heard it was sauce with the 2 eye emojis. She's not letting off. Sandy Ryan. Funny. Right, let's have a look here. We're going into round number 9 of 12. We've already lost 30 seconds. Sorry, I was on X having a look at see what was going on there. If there's anything I missed, obviously just looked at the Richardson Hitchins fight being cancelled due to illness. Right, here we go. Lee Wood once again feints with the jab, goes in with the backhand, goes into Warrington. They clinch. The ref separates the two. Got just under 10 minutes left of round 9 out of 12 rounds for this fight. As soon as I'm just thinking I would like to have seen potentially Warrington just try and cut the ring off, not necessarily follow him, but really think I'm going to shut you down so I can get to keep you in one place. But being dictated from the person on the back foot, that was a nice clean hook there from Wood that landed on the face of Warrington. You can, I think sometimes I think you can see when Warrington's hurt because he'll take the shot, you'll drop the gloves, almost like a reset, like to say, yep, you've got me, and then go again. The blood has started to run once again from the nose of Lee Wood as Warrington gets in a hook while he's on the inside. A hook in the clinch, no biggie. Just under a minute left of round 9 of 12. The blood is coming from the nose. You can see that's irritating Wood because he keeps on touching it. I wonder if it's there messing with his breathing. I know what that's like from when I smashed my face off the concrete floor in Manchester. When I hit my face, I remember like my nose was cut and I got a cut on my face there and whatever. That was coming from a boxing match as well. And I know it feels weird because even when I went to the hospital to get it checked out, I was saying, oh, I can't breathe through this side of my nose properly, the left side of my nose. The woman in the hospital says, yeah, it's swelling. Obviously, it's trauma. It will go down and you'll be fine. That was a year ago in April. And I still feel that there's restricted breathing in this side of my nose. Doesn't go away. Right, here we go. Was expecting more fireworks. Lee seems too comfy, which is dangerous. Yeah, he does seem very comfy. Just fighting at his pace, dictating the fight. So yeah, no, it's not lackluster. It's still an interesting watch. I'm not bored. But it just seems as if it's potentially one-sided. It's like Warrington's just gone in there with a mission, like to just take his head off, like rip his head off his shoulders. But it just doesn't seem as if there's any real strategy, there's any real plan about what he wants to do. And to be fair, Warrington might have trained properly with his sparring in the gym, got in the right opponent. But when the night's here and you're faced with that adrenaline, that passion, sometimes the game plan just goes out the window. Even speaking to Jamie Moore, he said that sometimes they've gone through like strict game plans. And then one of his fighters has said, I ain't going to do any of what, don't even try and tell me anything in the corner because I ain't going to listen to you. I'm going to do what I want. And that's because they feel like they've got something to prove. So could that be the situation here? We don't know. Or, you know, sometimes when you're the better boxer, it just makes the other boxer look like they're not doing anything. Or, no, I wouldn't say anything. It doesn't make them look as if they're doing as much as you. And that is because, like I said, Wood is dictating the pace. Warrington seems to be coming forward through aggression, not necessarily tactic, strategy. And you can see that one fighter is boxing and another fighter just wants to hurt the other one. So interesting watch. We are in round number 10 of 12. Imagine me saying all of this now and then he gets sparked. Stranger things have happened. Let's have a look. Once again, the feint coming in from Wood as he goes in with the backhand, more or less leading off the feint. And then he might throw a hook as another combination. Both guys in the clinch once again. Backhand once again coming from Wood. High guard there from Warrington. As like I said, it's like he's, okay, I need to knock him out. Am I going to knock him out? I'm going to get in there and I'm going to take his head off. There's nothing to bait him. There's nothing to set the shots up. There's no feints from Warrington whatsoever. He's not like slipping and rolling underneath, potentially going for the body. He's just looking to like basically just get the headshots. It'd be interesting to see the discussion, potentially what he has when he goes back in the corner, and like feedback what his team are gonna give him after this fight. You know, if you're fighting on emotion, yeah, it just doesn't work, and it's clearly not working here. Right, let's have a look. James goes, love Sandy, but she didn't look good tonight. Yeah, I did say that I don't believe that she's made any improvements with changing coaches. I can't see any improvement whatsoever, and I've said that to her as well. So she got the W tonight. Congratulations to her. Like I said, it's at 140. She's gonna, comfortably stay down there. I know she's proper on her fitness, but obviously her coaches are in America and she's from the UK. Maybe spend some time abroad. So, you've got to think, okay, what's the plan? What are we going to do moving forward? What are my goals? And how are you as my trainer going to help me to get better? Sandy wants to trade. She wants to fight. She likes fighting. You can see that she's a natural fighter. But the thing is, she's a good boxer as well. But I think we didn't see enough of that tonight. We didn't, like I said, we didn't see her finding the angles. Sandy, I know, is someone that is able to move laterally and find the angles and really twist her body into the shots. Like I said, I don't know what happened with her and a previous trainer. Don't know the ins and outs of that. And I don't want to know it, to be honest. So I don't want to be accused of gossiping. But I really think that, she was better under him. And I can't see where there's been improvements that have been made. But she chose to fight at this weight. So we'll see what happens moving forward. No, I did mention it, James. I was just going on there to repeat what I'd actually seen. I would never ignore you, James. Never. I repeated it, said it in the chat, and then I had a quick look on X and then just repeated it on here. Woods' chin is asking for it. Warrington has got the footwork to take advantage, but he can't seem to get through though, Dion. He might have the footwork to take advantage, but so far Don't get me wrong, he's caught him with a couple of shots, and you've seen obviously the chin go high up into the air, but it's not really working as well as it wanted to. Look, we're in round number 11 of 12. Anything can still happen. Warrington could get through if that's his plan, but like I said, it just seems like he wants to go in and get the KO. There's no real strategy on, okay, how am I going to get inside? And when I get inside, exactly what am I going to do? Potentially, how is Lee Wood going to outsmart me? Oh, that was a cheeky little shoulder barge from Lee Wood there. It's all about tactics, strategy, and how you're going to get through the fight and make that fight yours. This is being dictated solely by Wood. Doesn't matter how untidy he is, like you said, the chin's in the air, etc. He might be there for the opening. Bilal Fawaz, his chin was there for the opening all night, and Ishmael just couldn't get it. The body shot goes into Wood there from Warrington. Once again, Wood just flicks out the jab, goes in with the backhand. Both of the guys go to throw the hooks, but end up in the clinch. Halfway through round number 11 of 12. 1, 2, 3. Those are the hooks going into the head of Wood from Warrington. The jab flicks out once again. The feint, backhand going in to Warrington from Wood. Nice there. Jab touches the chin of Wood. And that's a work from Warrington. And it once again throwing that jab. But the third time he went to throw it, Wood actually slips out the way to avoid the shot landing clean. 1, 2. And those are the clubbing hooks around the head of Warrington, who has no longer got that completely high guard. He's dropped his hands a bit there, almost like he wants to have a better look at what's coming to see if he can navigate away from it. Body shot coming in from Wood. Both of them smiling at each other. One of them to say, hit you, the other one saying, don't think it hurt, mate. No time for smiling. Because as the rounds go on and you're behind on the card, nice backhand there from Warrington that landed clean on the face of Wood. 2 body shots going in there from Warrington into Wood. Let's have a look. 1, 2. That's the work coming in from Wood. Wood even celebrates as he walks back into the corner. He's still got a round left. He hasn't. Oh yeah, he hasn't got the footwork. Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, it's just like he's just not. There doesn't. Like I said, you used to seeing fighters. Oh, what was that in the corner of the room there? That was weird. It's like he hasn't got the. Like, what is the actual plan? What do we want to do? Wood's going to be elusive. How am I going to cut the ring off? Etc. Etc. I'm not seeing these things, and I'd like to. But I think that's what's cost him in this fight. Literally, like he just wants to go and take his head off. And he looks a bit battered and bruised, doesn't he? Final round. Respect shown between the two fighters. Nice loud crowd there. Beautiful aerial shot as well of the fight. I hope somebody gets some stills of that so they can keep these moments. These are the moments that the fighters should want, like printed off on canvas to put on their living room walls. Yeah, both guys have got Wood up, and that is Tony Bellew and Carl Frampton. Body shot going in from Wood to Warrington. The high guard there with Warrington. Backhand in from Wood to Warrington. Once again, that faint hand just stays out there as he goes for the body of Warrington once again. And this is the work from Wood. I wonder if he's going to try and get a stoppage in the last round, or he's, satisfied to go to points, because he's boxed really well this evening. Showed skill, like I said, navigated the fight on the back foot, dictated the fight, sorry, on the back foot, made sure that he's the one that's controlling everything in what Warrington is doing and nullifying everything that he's trying to do. Yes, there was, a lot of clinches in the beginning. There's been blood that's been shed, but overall, I'd say it's been a bit of a boxing lesson, if I'm honest, and comfortable as well from Wood, a comfortable boxing lesson, you know. Yeah, guys are just literally trying to go at it. Woods, he's obviously going for gold. Woods is holding on to him for dear life. We've got 40 seconds left in round number 12 of 12. Warrington there trying to push forward, get some shots off before the end. Once again, Wood just grabs him, puts him in a clinch. You're getting those extra seconds every time you're trying to get a shot off. Some inside work from the two. The ref lets them play with it. Beautiful hook there coming out of the clinch from Warrington to Wood. That's good work, that is. 12 seconds left in this round. The clappers are going to go. Are they going to go for it? As Wood pushes Warrington back onto the ropes. Warrington frustrated because he really wanted that fight. The guys hug each other at the end of it. Imagine you just like spend 12 rounds beating the crap out of someone, and then the sportsmanship is you give them a hug, shake the hand afterwards. Like, yeah, that I respect you for that. You might have beat me, but fair play. It was a good fight. Yeah, I'd say that was one-sided to me. So that Lee Wood's going to have won that. Let's have a look as the doctor checks them both out. Oh, commiserations. I know this fight really meant a lot to Warrington. He's very passionate about what he wanted to do. Me saying this and they haven't even read out the scorecards yet. But yeah, a good battle between them. Hopefully one day they could just literally have a pint and settle it. It's nice to see them talking, actually. They've shared the ring twice. You've got to have that respect. Here we go. Chris says this is why there's no need for a rematch. Wood was always the better boxer, no matter which Wood turned up. And Warrington was finished years ago. Do you think he was finished? I think he gave a good account of what he could do. It's just the boxing brain, isn't it? It's just the boxing brain. I think he's tough. I think he's fit. He's still up for it. I won't call him finished, but Lee Wood's just the more skilled boxer, isn't he? And he showed that. And a couple of both of them have got some cuts and bruises. And I'm sure Warrington splattered his nose early doors as well. Let's have a look and see what pages, if any, are doing what? Boxing UK. But this is 22 hours ago. I don't know what's going on with the algorithm with Twitter. Boxing UK on Twitter has just quoted Eddie Hearn saying, "I never once said he was innocent." Oh, how the tables turn. Let's have another look. Oh dear, that's a bit of a damning tweet from Franchon Cruz Dezern. Obviously, she's going up against Clarissa Shields. Different levels, different devils. At Clarissa Shields, you sold your soul for the clout and a married man. Come, I won't miss, I promise you. Flipping heck. Is that why they were scrapping on stage then? Interesting. Let's have a look. We are going to scores at the doors. Bless them. Here we go. I think it was very one-sided. It's got to be BUD. 119, 109, 119, 110, 117, 111. Yeah. Unanimous. Could only be unanimous. Congratulations. Lee Wood wins the rematch. There we go. Yeah, Skyliner. I did reach out to Eddie, like, you know, the night not the announcement, well, the PR team, because they're really good to me. You know, they always have been. And then I saw the Coogan one, and then the PR was like, "Yeah, we'll sort something out for you tomorrow." And then I watched the interview, and like I said, I'm like that. And like I said, I thought, you know what? So I messaged them back, and I says, "Allow it." I said, everyone's going to want to interview him. He's going to be answering the same questions. Everyone's going to want the meat on the bones for this one. So it's pointless. It's absolutely pointless me doing anything with him at the moment. I'll catch him when the time is right, and then we'll do something. But Coogan did a brilliant job with him last night. There was a lot of things uncovered in there that I didn't even know that had happened. Like I said, lawyer and ignoring phone calls or whatever, all the rest of it. So yeah, I think there's a right time. You know what I'm usually like? I usually get Frank Smith to come on and do a live. So potentially, if I can try and get that done next week, I'll try and do something. If Frank Smith is free, I think they might have something in. I can't remember. There might even be Mexico next week. But if I can get something, I'll get something. Otherwise, I will see them at the next fight. But I appreciate that, Skyliner. Listen, it is what it is. Wood got the win. We are at the end of the evening. They are going to do, obviously, their post-fight interviews, etc., etc. I will not be staying up to watch the American fights via a watch-along. If I'm awake in my room, I might put it and watch it on my phone, on the apps, etc., etc. But other than that, I am going to leave now and say good night. Listen, it's been a pleasure. Keep your notifications on, comment on the videos, comment on stuff, give me suggestions, feedback, whatever it is. I appreciate everything that you guys do. I can't do it without the subscribers. You guys are very, very precious to me. I need you to know that, but not in a stalker weird way. Yeah. So anyway, have a fabulous evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as we say at October Red, what we always say at October Red is stay ready. Good night, guys.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.